But we're starting a new game called Memento Mori is the name of the campaign. When we were talking some sessions ago about like what we wanted to do for the next game, we were going to lead into dark fantasy, and I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing to explore. There's this Latin phrase called Memento Mori, which is remember you will die. Right, like there's always an end. There's more. There's the whole idea behind the mortal coil. I think like it's really interesting. I think from a dark fantasy perspective, because at first it's going to be as above, so below, but it didn't really seem to capture some of the themes we talked about. So I thought we would rename it Memento Mori, and this is a brand new campaign, and this is session 0. So that means we get to create characters with each other, and people get to watch it on Patreon. So a couple of things. Our last game just wrapped last week. Our 30 game sessions in. We wrapped it all up. And one of the things we wanted to do in this new game was like push the story forward in time. For several reasons. But foremost, this is now her third campaign with us. And with our new player, Sarah, it's our first campaign. So we wanted to... Because there's just 20-something years of real-world story in the campaign world. We want to kind of push it forward to introduce new ideas, new themes, new stories, new characters, and kind of abandon that which we've done before. So it's fresh to everybody. So I've spent the last month kind of honing down what I think is going to be important, the things that we'll cover in our game. But so for those who are our patrons, you're going to see this is going to be a very different style of game and a very different game for all of us. So I think the best thing to do to start this game off with is actually introduce ourselves. We clearly haven't made characters yet. We're going to do that on camera, but I think just to kind of reacquaint people who watch the show or listen to it on podcast, and because you're all meeting Sarah for the first time, for some of you at least, we can just do a quick round of introductions, and we'll start with Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam Rose. I'm with Grim and Perilous Studios. I am the one in charge of that now. So, you're tuning in on our Patreon, and really appreciate you tuning in. So thank you so much.
Feast for Friends 3, thanks to patrons.
Yes.
That happens. So we'll move next to our new player, Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I am a lawyer studying for the bar, and this is my only social time. So, and I'm brand new.
Except for all the kids' parties and shit you have to go to.
Yeah, all the weddings, kids' parties, that stuff.
Sarah, I'm with you.
There's more on Wednesday. It's not, or more on Sunday. It's not over. It's like June is a month of like birthdays. So we'll go next to Mike.
All right. Yep. So I'm Mike the Boss Bossler. I have a different name in every book. So it's Mike. Well, if you're going to throw it away, Bossler in this one, it's going to be different in this one and every book we do in the future. That's a running joke.
He's the only person in the books that actually has a nickname, because I'm like anti-nickname in the book.
Yeah.
Only Mike though.
Only me. They're going to be one. And so I do the Mechanics Mondays for our Patreon. I keep track of all the rations and stuff. So if you ever want anything, let me know. I'll hunt down sodas or pops or whatever. So.
Or high
He's our game quartermaster.
Yeah, I am the game quartermaster. That's why I bought $100 worth of Haichu and got this super cool swag like this.
So Haichu,
yeah.
If you ever want to sponsor us, we eat the shit out of Haichu.
Yeah. You love that stuff.
And I'm pretty sure all of our Patreons have tried them by now.
I know. I hope that YouTube, when they monetize this video, is just fucking Haichu.
Like Haichu
commercial. Yeah.
All the Haichu.
This is why we have koozies, because we don't want to advertise beep on our
right.
on our show. We want Haichu. That Haichu money. We're next to Tim.
I'm Tim Coron. Dan and I have been playing together for, I can't even remember. I think we said 16 earlier.
Since we're 16.
Since we were 16. I'm 45 now, so that's
I'll do math
a long time.
29 years, Tim.
Thank you for that. That makes me feel even worse.
You know,
it's about a whole
yeah, I don't do anything with the Patreon besides contribute like you guys and
eat
watch.
Haichus.
I eat a lot of Haichus, so I get my money back in Haichus.
You contribute a monthly amount. You're a patron. So. Yeah.
No, but I contribute because I like to watch the shows that I don't get to be part of because, like everybody here, I have a crazy demanding job. And this is my only free time, too.
Except for kids' parties.
Except for all of our friends who have kids' parties that we go to.
I didn't invite you to any of the kids' parties
I know.
purposefully because I know you have a very busy
Everybody else
Mexican
does.
social life.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah,
My partner is
that's
Hispanic, and she has a very large family. One of 36 first cousins.
Holy.
MBD.
That's, yes.
That's the thing. So, Nick, you don't have a large Hispanic family, do you?
I don't know.
Not enough melon in there, I don't think.
No. I'm Nick O'Hare. I am a member of Grim and Perilous, working on some products, current and upcoming. Known around this table as Chaos Incarnate.
Yeah.
Is that your rave name or your DJ name?
Incarnate.
Excuse me, is that your LARP name or your DJ name?
Right.
Incarnate.
When in the early days of testing Zweihander, when we needed to like stress test like some heavy duty like mechanics that penalize players, Nick took on that.
Analyze.
Analyze. You took on that mantle, and has continued to do so since Zweihander has been in development for however fucking long we've been playing, writing, whatever. I don't know.
AKA the rule breaker.
Yeah. Rule breaker. But last but not least is Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay. I am also a part of Grim Perilous Studios. Currently, one of the works that I'm doing is actually I'm part of the duo that's rewriting or writing a bunch of the beasts that are getting released every month.
Right.
Monster of the Month.
Monster of
That's
the Month,
Kay and
yeah.
Jason Birch.
Yes, yeah. And so that's one of my big things that I do. And then I'm also the one that tends to take notes and draw random maps that might happen to appear occasionally on places like Twitter. That's my big thing.
Yeah, we've been sharing on our maps for our previous game. The first location on the map was called the Dick of Winter.
That's right.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. There's a big plinth of rock in the middle of snow, and I was like, "What do you think it's called?" And Nick's like, "It's the Dick of Winter," and that became the first location on our sandbox map.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kay's been doing a lot of mapping. She helped acquaint us with Roll20 when we were all playing remote. And as you can tell, we're all in person because we're all fucking vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
Sarah?
Oh, I'm vaccinated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just giving you trouble. I have to get at least one in while you're here.
Well, I'm sure there'll be many more.
Well, you won't be the only person. So, so we're going to make characters for Memento Mori.
Can I point out something about that name, by the way?
Do
that
it.
I find hilarious.
Do it.
That is an item that is from a game called Dead by Daylight that allows the killer to actually kill people as opposed to sacrificing them.
Oh, interesting you should mention that.
Eh.
That's an interesting analog, parallel you've drawn there, Kay. I wouldn't know why
Yeah.
that would be so familiar.
All
I'm not to
right.
blame Dead by Daylight or anything like that, or looking forward to the next one, but
Resident Evil soon.
That's right. So I'm gonna cue up the scary music because we're making fucking characters. And by the way, if you are listening for the first time, we do tend to use a lot of profanities, so 18 plus only.
Yeah.
But we of course avoid subject. We are hardcore social justice warriors. So you won't find any of the weird shit that happens on other podcasts here.
I'm a
More
social
videos.
warrior.
Yeah,
I'm a social justice cleric.
Yeah, I'm going to be a social justice ranger.
I'm a berserker. A social justice
Social
berserker.
justice, social justice rogue and sneaking.
That's right.
attack.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that sign that was being tatted around by the Westboro Church? It had like a big long list of like twerker berserkers and like a bunch of random shit on it. It's a really, you look it up on online. It's like this 6 foot tall sign. It's about like 2 feet wide by 6 feet tall. It has all these different words on it. And it seemed like kind of like really cool names for like D&D classes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be a twerker berserker because the twerker berserker was on it. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so the best place to start, I think we need to talk about kind of what's happening in the game world to acquaint all of us. And this is, I'm not going to tip my hand to the bigger things that are going on, the deeper details, but I'll talk about it kind of the 10,000 foot view. So our last game concluded in year 225, and it took place in this northern area called the Dal Riata. We are bringing our game world back to where Tim and I started, in fact, when we were 16. back to a country called Aglador. And Aglador has been the center of the game world for years and years and years. We've got multi-generational characters in it. But Aglador, the country, is kind of like, we may think of it in the same sense we think of like an analog to England. The people who live in Aglador, who are called the Eridane, are a pale-skinned, dark-haired people who came from beyond this continent in what was commonly called the Second Age. So this would have been like 300 years prior to this. They brought steel, they brought stirrups, they brought horses, and they brought their religion. And they stormed their way through the north and eventually settled into Aglador. And one of the first places they settled into was this place called the Arborean Peaks, this mountain range that dominates the western edges of the country, or western edges if you're looking at me here. Along the Arborean Peaks, they settled into a city that would be called Belagane, which basically translates from the common tongue into the City of Ages. It, like its sister city in the south, Cahabro, is kind of like a layer cake. A city's been built on top of a city, built on top of a city, so through different civilizations. And the Eridane have been the dominant religion, the dominant people of this game world. And Belagane was its capital for the longest time. And all of the previous dynasties of families have lived in Belagane or within the surrounding cities around it, such as a small settlement called Holland, which is where our game's going to start. The Black Knights of Landon, who are the king, basically the servants of the king, live in a castle called Kael Landon, not far from the main city. Well, in roughly what would have been equivalent now, because it's going to be year 250, so we're 25 years ahead in the future, but back on 198, we know an event that was called the Last Cataclysm occurred. And that's when one of the twin moons that surrounds the world broke into shards and came crashing down to the world. And one of its largest shards, which were called the Martyr's Tears, it crashed into Belagane and killed the Holy Father, who is the leader of the Covenant faith, the faith of basically a world, the equivalent of a pope. He killed the Holy Father. Thousands upon thousands of people died in what essentially was a cataclysmic event.
Including the whole party that was playing in the game at the time.
Yeah.
That's right, including the party, because that happened in our game. So the last
king too, right? The original king, the royal family.
Not the king. If you recall, they were in Caelantes. Caelantes to the north. But so Belagane was destroyed by remnants of what is called, astrologically, it was called the Umbral Star, but the colloquial name was called the Blood Moon. Although it still lingers, parts of it still linger in the sky and twinkles both day and night, there's always like a red field, like imagine like Saturn has like a field of stone out in the sky. It's kind of similar to what in this game world, which is called Bahama, very similar. Remnants of that star are so close to the world, they still hang in the atmosphere. Every once in a while they fall from the sky. But more importantly, in relation to our story, the Umbral Star is for the most part gone. The only other heavenly body that is close to this world is called the Mirror, which is the moon. And it reflects the world of Irin Mahama up on its face. So since this has happened, it was literally seen as a cataclysmic event, and things have changed rapidly in the country of Aglador. The king, Cassander Malister, the Unifier, has sought to solidify his relationship with the southern continent, Gothmorin. He married his daughter off to the prince, and now Gothmorin is once more. The southern continent is now the theocracy is spread once again. But in Aglador, the place has always been in some form of civil war or external war. The Eridane are a very they have imperial tendencies, I guess you could best the way to put it. They it's not a matter of conquering them with sword, it's you conquer them with religion. You conquer them by interbreeding your people into the other countries. They as an ethnicity believe that the best way to stamp out other people is to literally like interbreed with the families. So there will be no one left but the Eridane people in the world. Not the best of folk by any means. Bad people
I call
overall.
them the Aristane.
Aristane, that's right.
There's stain on
But despite this cataclysmic event, Aglador has somehow persisted. If there's one thing about the Aridane that people know is that they are a very tenacious people, and have withstood wars, famine, disease, you name it. They've been through it and they found a way through because even though the ancestral bloodlines of Aglador are very solid and old and can trace their roots back to the first shore, the place beyond this continent. It's the people who basically are very industrious and kind of find their way through all of this madness and terrible shit. They just seem to persist. It's what they do. And despite the fact that this cataclysmic event happened like 30 years ago, they have persisted. And the king, Cassander Malister, has sat on the throne for all 35 of those years despite all of this. The kingdom, for the most part, is in a somewhat quiet peace right now. But Bellegane being close to still being there, no longer the capital, obviously, it's been destroyed. But the king has resettled into a place called Cael Nantes, and there's other stuff that's not important to our game that's happening in the world. We're going to focus our game on Holland, this settlement where you all are from, and the city of Bellegane. The game will basically take you from Holland eventually to Bellegane, and the game will unfold in the city, the ruins of the city. You'll learn about the people who have managed to eke out an existence there, despite the fact the city has been partially destroyed. You'll also find out what may have come along with the Martyr's Tears when they crashed into the world, the strange atmospheric changes that happens around the city, and as well as some other unusual things. But for the most part, the only thing you really need to know for this game is that you all are probably Aridane, that you all were born an auspicious birth. There's something unique about each and every single one of you, which we're going to talk about from a rules perspective, what that means. But you all are probably the same age we are now. You're probably in your 30s. And what that means from the perspective of Aglador is that, typically you marry around 18, and if you're not married, you're a spinster, or you're just somebody who's sowing your oats. In this case, you all will come from many different families who have broken the mold. Even though Aglador is still a somewhat feudal country, you all are an exception to that. So when we create characters, we're going to take that under consideration. So that's the high level of kind of what's happening. It's a lot to absorb, but I think what I'm mostly interested in getting from you all is we talk about themes and story and tone of the game. What are the things that you want to see in this game? Because what I'm looking for from you is to get feedback on the things that you'd like for your characters to explore, things that you would like to see, themes you would like to go to dive into. What should we stay away from? What should we just go all in on? And anything is on the table. Once again, that we much like our Desperation Point game, this one's kind of unfettered from the trappings of what we've done historically with our games. It will probably have some light politics, as it tends to do. Mm-hmm. That's why the games that I run tend to do, and that's good, because there'll be lots of social interaction moments. It won't just be, let's go to the city and find shit. But that's the thing I plan to bring to the table. So tell me what you want out of the game. Anyone can jump in at any time.
I'll go ahead and start. I'll start with something that you have talked about already, but that I certainly want to underscore, and I do want the fantasy level to be bumped up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. To have a little more of that dark fantasy element in there. Kind of along the lines of when I first started around your table, there was a lot more fantasy than in the middle.
Yeah.
And you have been ramping up the fantasy aspects over the past couple of campaigns a little bit more and more.
So when you say dark fantasy, you mean we're going to play Kanye West?
Yeah, I'm totally into that.
Okay. I was thinking of dark fantasy album. Anyway, yeah, totally. So yeah, the plan is to dial up the fantasy elements more in this. It's clear that it's what people kind of gravitate toward. All of our games basically start out low fantasy, then we paint the brushstrokes thin, and then we just and toward the end of the story, it's like just the roller, right? We always start small and it kind of widens. The aperture widens, so to speak. If you think about like George R. R. Martin, same way.
So with that, you want to play a Seabran?
I was joking with that.
I was like, can the
But
Seabran be Aerodane?
What I would like is to play an ancestry that isn't human, and one ancestry I've never touched, and the ancestries I've never touched over playtesting or anything are either dwarf or elf.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll dive into all that, but I got this marked down. So if you all could just, I think to kind of make this expeditious, like maybe we pick like one thing we want to see in the game. So I've got Adam. You want the more dark fantasy. You want to play a non-human ancestry. What about the rest of you?
I want to see something crazy and wild down in the blast crater. So this has been percolating for 25 years. So like something like an active volcano or like cults around, some weird stuff that's been sitting around that no one can move, like large crystals of witchstone or something like that. Maybe mutated animals that people worship, just some weird, wild, cultist fantasies type stuff, like way down in the depths.
So I'm going to start you off with a cue card, and this is basically going to be something that your character knows only. There's a place called the Rip. That is where the heaviest parts of the Umbral Star crashed into Belagain. So we'll start y'all with that.
Hang on, can we pause it for just a moment?
What's that?
Adam. So I figured.
Dan, do you
I
play?
don't remember. I will be
It
playing.
was the.
I just have to play golf.
It was the Rip.
Rip, yeah.
And
So you got the Rip. So your character will know something about the Rip in the game. Kay, what about you? What do you want to see in this game?
I would like to see less encounters that have to do with humans and more that have to do with creatures, beasts, and etc. Because I feel like that we haven't researched like a whole lot on that side of fighting and things like that. The bestiary.
Ah, yeah, I like that.
That's interesting. Like when you're watching like the Witcher TV show, and like he's sent to fight the monster, and then he like talks with it. It's like that kind of thing.
I would love to see that. I just like it feels like the vast majority of the times if we come against encounters, whether it's social or whether it's fighting or whatever, it tends to be humans, and I'd like to see more diversity in that.
So there is a people would be the best description of them. Keep in mind, this is not. I should clarify. This is not stuff that your character. You wouldn't know any deeper details than simply the turn that's on top of your card.
Okay.
But this is something for in the case of Nick and for you. But
Okay.
there are people called the Riven
Okay.
who exist in Belagain. That's all you know about them. So these are obviously just prompts you could use to explore parts of the story. Let's move next to Mike.
One thing I really enjoyed from last campaign was all the set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to see more of those, and I expect we are going to. But
Yeah.
one concern I have is because I was thinking about doing like a range character. And one concern I have is like long and extreme range. Like, how do you do that on a
Yeah.
Because but that's something I would want to think about. But
Yeah,
more combat.
yeah. I think that because
You stole my one thing.
I'm sorry. I take that back. Less combat, so you get to do more combat.
the great thing about playing
You know
in
what I'm
person,
always
I'll flip the camera so our viewers can see this. The great thing you'll see, and they can't really see anything here right now, but this is I think this is 36 inches. I have no concept of diameter.
Haichu.
High
Brought to you
chews.
by Haichu.
Yeah, it's not about Haichu.
Somehow.
In our 30th game session
Powered by
desperation
Haichu.
point.
Yes.
Powered by Haichu. We are powered by Haichu. Jesus Christ.
Powered by Zweihander. Tim is powered by Zweihander.
Powered by Zweihander.
This is what you.
we definitely will have plenty of set pieces because we're in person. I have that big monster train shit. If you turn around behind you, you can see some of the sets we built. The biggest one we ever built was last game session. It was 2x3. It's huge. We can reflect longer distances fairly easily if we don't use the turntable.
Yeah.
So if we
Right.
delete the turntable from here, we could use a whole damn table if we wanted
Right.
to.
These
Nonetheless,
are for.
yeah, that's right. That's what your drawers are for. But nonetheless, we can definitely do that. So, what about you, Sarah? What do you want to see in this
Well,
game?
you know, I'm just kind of along for the ride because it's my first one, but I'll tell you the things that I typically like in
Yes.
games. I like a lot of moral dilemmas and political struggles.
You'll see that.
Yeah.
That's a guarantee.
Historically, not an issue.
Yeah. You will. In that case, I think that whatever character you create, you will start out having heard of a politician named Lady Evelyn Goodchild.
There we go.
The only thing you know about Lady Evelyn Goodchild is that she that she is a leader of a group of people called the Southern Cross Knights.
Are the cards color coded? Does pink mean anything?
No, I'm just picking. I'm picking random colors. It's because you're a girl.
Yeah.
Kate got a green one.
Yeah.
Everyone got green ones. I get a pink one.
Well, you're
This is a
femme
joke on the
presenting, so I
new
gave
guy.
you pink. It's right now. I have green, yellow, and pink. I don't know why I picked them.
I'm okay with this.
Can you, just out of curiosity, Tim, can you tell the difference between these two colors?
Why do we have to do this?
No, I'm asking. It's a legit question.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
One's gray and one's a different gray.
Are you colorblind?
Yeah, red, green, brown.
Yeah.
And Daniel, this will be something else that will happen at least every
always
third
said-
game
Yeah.
session. Dan has been picking on me since 16 with this. So.
I was being serious because these cards.
No, I can't see the difference.
To your point, these cards were actually color coded at once, but I stopped color coding because I didn't think Tim could tell the difference in color. That's also why I moved away from using mismatched dice when I roll. Like I roll
Yeah, I
the same
cannot
color
see
dice.
his dice. When he rolls, there's no possibility.
I have no idea what his
I
dice
have
look
no
like.
idea what his
Only I can
numbers
read.
are.
I just assume he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Well, so
I critically fail in that one.
Yeah, you do. You do.
you will see moral dilemmas.
He's
You
not.
will see political struggle.
You're failing on your own.
And the first politician you will know out the gate or heard about the gate is Lady Evelyn Goodchild, the leader of the Southern Cross Knights in Bellegate. Tim, last but not least.
I'm going to try and change my approach. I'm going to be the Nick of this party.
I want it
I
to
want-
be less chaotic.
I
this
want to be
game.
chaos incarnate and combat orientated. Oh man! But I'm just going to be driven through the chaos.
Let's go.
I don't want to play a magical character. I just want to be a little cuckoo like Nick is. I'm trying to replace him
Yeah.
this game session.
Okay,
so
I'm
if you can-
gonna try to fade. Like,
I know how to
go
lead
a little
your
bit back.
You know,
That's-
in the end of
I'm
this, we're
saying
gonna end up
that
with
now.
two Nicks, right? Like
I'm
that.
saying that
Right.
now. We'll see what happens.
It may
Nick
occur.
won't be able to help himself about like 10 sessions in. Then he's
because usually I'm
You're
the
probably right.
I'm the arrow.
Well, I think with that out of the way, the good thing is that a lot of these themes are. What's up?
I thought Nick wanted to
Oh yeah, the other thing you
else?
talked about.
Cambion.
Oh yeah. We are planning on releasing an Ancestry
On Drive-Thru
on
RPG.
Drive-Thru RPG.
And all Inquisitors will get it for free.
Yeah.
$15 level patrons.
Yeah.
So you were going to suggest.
Oh, you said you wanted to play a non-human race, and I was saying that maybe you could play test that one, the
Right,
Cambion.
well, and that because he's the GM.
Mhm.
Ask him.
So we'll cover that when we start character creation.
All right.
It's not my character. I wasn't telling you what to do. I just
No,
suggested.
I'd be open to it. But
I think the thing to keep in mind. So a couple of things. Hi, chew time. I said hi, chew time, please.
Oh, I'm trying to corrupt her, but
Don't make the tape.
I said hi, chew time, Tim. I want a stomach ache before the end of this game. I think what we should. Okay, so first and foremost, depending on what direction we go, every character should be as unique as possible. What I don't think we should do is an all non-human game that's just not going to hit the notes that we want to hit. I think if we have a non-human, it's one person. The caster, it's one person. And then we kind of pick and choose within the professions that we typically do, or whatever professions you want to do. You do whatever you want. I will say that it probably makes more sense to play a Siabran, if only because, the Arborean Peaks, if you're looking at the game world, like, here's Aglador, and here's the Arborean Peaks, beyond that's the Siabran Moor. So it would actually be interesting and perhaps may not make sense, but at least you're closer to where everything is. And we've recently introduced the Pictish as well to our game, so I think if you're going to look at a non-human race, look at one of those two, because they fit within kind of what we've done before.
What's the equivalent? Is it elf and...
To call a Siabran elf would be... I guess you could do that, but they're not really people with pointy ears that run around the woods. They're
Lith.
They're
More.
murderous people who wear masks.
That's
They hide their identities. They go by monikers.
I was just thinking, what race would that be from the book?
From what? I'm sorry.
From the
From
book,
Zweihander.
what-
Probably an elf.
Yeah, that's
I think it's probably the equivalent. I mean, if you think about like the Mandalorian, like that whole race, or that whole race of people, like that's probably maybe the close equivalent to the Siabran.
This is the way.
This is the way they live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't use that though if you do it.
Yeah.
You
We will
can't
not.
roleplay Boba Fett. I'm sorry, but
That's not.
we will not be able to continue recording if you do.
all right,
That's
content violation.
The power of
not
Disney.
me. Yeah.
But I think that
or Disney.
you should do that if you want to. I'm open to that.
And then the Pictish, I know them in the game because we've seen them quite a bit. But what analog would you say would that be?
Up to you.
Okay. Because
Um,
for me, it's either dwarf or elf. I just want to try out.
Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll skin it however we want.
Yeah.
However you want. So I think, real quickly, one thing I do want to note: Sarah has called the caster.
Right.
She played a cultist in the previous game. I think it's a really good introduction to Zweihanders to play like perhaps one of the most complicated professions in the game.
Cool.
Yeah. The great thing is, though, you have your, quote, battle buddy, which is Adam. So if you ever have any game mechanics questions in the middle of combat or something like that, you can ask me, but Adam will be there to help you answer questions. So,
Get ready.
yeah, because there's going to be a bunch. So, I will give these to I'll give these to you, Sarah, because you'll be going through those later, not right now. But what we need to do is pass out character sheets, Mike, and that means because we know we love.
Do we
new
take one
character
down and
sheets.
pass it around?
That's right. There are new character sheets, brand new that I worked on today, that merge parts of Flames of Freedom with Zweihander, but we're kind of returning to the source material.
Well, that's cool. You channeled it.
We'll be merging some of the more interesting mechanics, mostly from a game master perspective, from Flames of Freedom. But we're going back to fate points, we're going back to alignments, we're going back to corruption. And corruption will play a very major role in this game, particularly with where you'll be going. So it'll make Tim's choices interesting too. But I've also talked about how this game will be a little bit different. We'll be playtesting something new. I'll tell you about that in just a moment, but if you would, take the top 4 sheets, and pass them around. These are your character sheets.
I didn't know there'd be counting.
Yeah. Sorry. But these will be your single source of truth.
You better stir some shit this campaign, because I don't want to get bored.
Okay, man. I'm gonna try.
I'm trying to talk him into singing Legionnaire eventually.
That's what
There you go.
I mean, it's not magic-y, because like Prince of Violence doesn't use magic.
No, you
just channel the hit.
channel
Zen.
power to kill people.
You
Right?
gotta pick up the slack, okay?
I'm gonna try, man. I mean, I've been straight as an arrow for a lot of years, and it's just not.
So, Mike, take 4 sheets and pass it around.
But it was.
He's a Tory.
Yeah, I only messed that up like 5 times in a row.
I know. You'll probably have some sheets left over. I printed out a couple extra in case somebody messes up. Cool. So, like I said, we're going to be merging Zweihander and Flames of Freedom together, and some of this we're going to do together, some of this we're going to do on our own, while we create characters here at the table tonight. So this will be a guided experience, as we've experienced before in our session zeros.
Can we talk a bit about some of the
Yeah.
The characters in Flames? Because I don't. Because it's
So-
something that I don't know much about it.
So
I have.
I
Or
know,
Mike does.
but-
So Flames.
You're
So
the rule guy.
just to be clear, Flames of Freedom
Yeah.
it's a Zweihander adjacent game. It has its own. It takes place in the American Revolutionary War, but more importantly for our game, it's very easily transposable into Zweihander. There's a lot of fun professions in it. My recommendation is if you're not familiar with Flames of Freedom, don't choose a profession from there.
Okay.
Because it's a whole new game, and I definitely recommend you check it on your own if you want to. But I don't think for what we're doing tonight, save for perhaps Mike, that we should dive into that because there's a lot of wrinkles that I'll have to iron out.
Right.
There's a lot of strange considerations.
There are.
So, I'm going to talk you through the sheet because this is where you're going to start to see some things that are different. At the top of your character sheet, basically above the word that says corruption, you're going to see a Mad Lib. And that Mad Lib is basically who you are. It's like, so as an example, I'll paint this. So my name is Daniel Fox, and I have lived my life as a professional liar. I'm middle-aged, I'm human, male, I was born beneath the star of, and this is where you're going to see the first change. Every character in this game world was born auspiciously beneath a specific star of the god, one of the layers of the zodiac within the world, and depending on what god you were born beneath, it will modify your primary attributes. Yeah, so you'll have one attribute you'll adjust at plus 10%, and two you'll adjust to minus 5%.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So I'm a middling build with pale complexion. I have blue eyes, brown hair, and have, a giant head. That's my mark. My dooming is X. So for those who played Zweihander before, you're familiar with this, but for those who haven't, every character in the game world at around the age of 10 was visited by a prognosticator. And that prognosticator told the child and their parents the way in which that child will pass on to the afterlife. And they were given an engraved holy symbol with that dooming on it's called the dooming on the back. And it's kind of held sacred by everyone in the game world. And it kind of becomes a roleplay tool. It doesn't really have any mechanics tied to it, but it's a fun roleplay tool. But once again, we all know that characters are bound between two sides of the same coin: their order alignment and their chaos alignment. Something that they're renowned by for being like I'm a good person, but I'm also a terrible liar. Whatever it may be, that's your order and chaos alignment. We'll talk about that though once we start rolling. The first thing you need to do on your sheet is mark basic tier. You're all in basic tier. That's where all characters start.
For some basics.
Some basics. Getting back to basics. So if we follow the way we typically would create characters, we're going to roll stats. You're going to roll your primary attributes from top to bottom. And the way this works is you take 25, the value of 25, and roll 3d10. Add those numbers together and add them to 25, and that's your combat. And just go top to bottom. There's a range. Just roll your stats. So, as an example, takes normal 3d10, roll them, add them up, add them to 25. That's your combat.
Just roll.
Add them and then add
I
25.
wish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seriously.
899?
That's what you had.
No,
So I
it
have,
sucks
like-
every time. It doesn't work for me. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, so it'd be 14 plus 25?
It would be 15 because you get to put that one there too. So
And the 0 counts as 1?
it's a 10.
Oh, a 10. All right. Okay. So 15 plus 25 is 35. Nope.
40.
40.
So you have a 40%. You have a 40% combat.
This is
right
why I
up
went
there.
to law school, not
Yeah.
engineering.
You're fine.
That's what calculators are for.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so I do it for all of them going down the list, right?
Yep, that's right.
Oh my god. Got a 34 combat.
Oh, jeez. Average stat is 41. Best stat is 55.
I just got 1099 on perception.
Dang.
Tell him we're
I got an 899 for combat. So
right off the
51.
bat. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "That's what you rolled. Don't pick your dice up."
I was like, oh, I rolled that well?
53 on perception. Okay, that's an
I don't think I've ever seen a 55 in this game. I don't think I've ever rolled a 55.
Not naturally. I think people have done like natural selection or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Die roll.
That's not good. 10, 35. Did I just roll another 41? 41.
Yeah.
Just 41 and an over here.
Just
Oh,
randomly-
there we go.
Tim, did you bring over mustard?
No, I went and stole this from your fridge. I asked
I
before I did
I
it.
brought this mustard.
5.
Pop, 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 pop.
42. Seriously. 41, 41, 42. Hold on.
Oh wow.
40. I just, seriously, I can't. I don't. Just right there. No, that was bad. It's always fellowship.
My fellowship's not great either.
I have
What
never
did you get for your
rolled well.
fellowship?
I don't know yet. Hold on, I need to.
I rolled a 007 for my fellowship.
37.
Yeah.
Yeah.
53.
I know, right? Got a 52 for my fellowship. 007.
So you know how I mentioned that everybody's born beneath a particular star? That means That means when you were born, like that God watches over you.
It's Captain Average.
So what we'll do next is you're going to see in this little Mad Lib here, and this is not done in order. I'm just doing this in order for us. You'll see something that says, "And I was born beneath the star of thee." We're going to roll to determine what god you were born beneath and determine the modifiers to your stats. So, Adam, go ahead and roll percentile dice.
Okay.
So you'll switch to percentiles for this roll.
Rolled a 21.
You were born beneath the star of the Custodian.
Ooh.
The Custodian is the god of the usher of the dead, the usher into the afterlife. Typically, sometimes
It is.
referred to as a sweetheart, seen as a kindly woman who leads those into beyond the threshold. Not like an evil god like the Grim Reaper, but
Like Death from Neil Gaiman.
yes,
Sandman.
Sandman. Yeah. So, because you were born beneath the star of the Custodian, adjust your brawn by plus 10%.
Nice.
But,
Right?
but
But reduce your perception in combat by minus 5%. And then just be sure to write the god you're born beneath on your Mad Lib. So, Sarah, roll percentiles.
Okay,
Can I get a strawberry?
these two.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
32.
32. You were born beneath the star of the Learner.
Oh.
The Learner is basically the god of secrets and the god of forbidden knowledge, which actually works really well for your character
Does.
concept, right?
Oh gosh, she's gonna be an Aloranite. I already
No.
remember her.
Something very different. So you'll adjust your intelligence your willpower by plus 10%. So that goes here. That goes here.
Willpower up by 10. Nice.
And then you will adjust your agility and perception by minus 5%.
Agility was already my lowest, so down to 30.
Oh no!
Rough.
It's rough. Mike,
It's alright, you don't need to walk around to cast spells. Those are like line of sight, right?
Mike.
Alright, what am I rolling? I am rolling a 21.
Nice.
It's the same one.
Custodian.
Oh, can we be the same one?
Sure.
Okay.
There's only 7 gods on this list. Yeah. You're already born beneath the star of the Custodian.
Okay.
So it's plus 10% brawn, minus 5% perception, minus 5% combat.
Oh no, I go down.
Brr.
I had a 51, now I have a 46.
Oh.
hey, you could have a 29 combat.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's true.
It could be worse. What about Tim? Let's figure out what star you were born beneath, Tim.
53.
53. You were born beneath the star of the Martyr.
Oh, nice.
I am a Malta.
The Martyr is the goddess of birth and sacrifice and of blood.
Birth, sacrifice, and blood.
Yeah, sometimes referred to
Sacrifice.
as the. She was referred to in the South as the Red Revenant. She's the goddess of vengeance at times too. The goddess of those who avenge the dead, like a Valkyrie kind of persona. You add plus 10% to fellowship.
Oh, come on. The one score I never need.
Well, you're not gonna like the next two. Minus 5% combat, minus 5% brawn.
Can I reroll?
Oh man.
Um,
I take it back. I like mine better.
Just don't play warrior.
Nick,
Come out to play.
what's the point?
That's why you have to channel
67.
What's the point of playing?
67.
Too old.
Why am I even here? High choose. That's why
You were born beneath the god of the Night Father. The Night Father is
That's
the.
apt.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
He
he's
is
trying to
the-
be good.
He is the god of multiplication, as in like growing the family. He's also the god of commerce, fortune, and thievery. They add plus 10% to agility, minus 5% to brawn, minus 5% to intelligence.
Every time Nick tries to get out, the game just reels him back in.
All right, then.
Right. Okay.
19.
Here we go.
19. You were born beneath the star of the Crouching One.
Ooh.
The Crouching One is the god of murder.
Yeah.
That's the one I
And
wanted.
Well, do you want to? Do you?
Hell no, you can't take mine. No,
Yeah.
this one's mine.
So it's plus 10% combat,
Alright.
minus 5% willpower, minus 5% fellowship.
That is perfect for me.
Is anyone dissatisfied with their roll?
I am. I want to murder.
You want the Crouching One as well?
I would just like to point out my combat's now 57.
Nice. Do you want the Crouching One as well, Tim? Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be a martyr. I want to murder.
Okay.
I need the crouching one, but I'm gonna let the dice. Whatever.
I just hate losing a rank, right?
I
I'm going down
lost
to
a rank in
51 to
willpower.
46.
So,
So
Shit,
Tim, for the
willpower.
Crouching One is plus 10% combat, minus 5% willpower, and minus 5% fellowship.
I have to remember what my
Could have been worse.
rolls were.
Yeah, no, I'll take.
So be sure to update your Mad Lib, obviously.
Okay.
Let's
5.
let's just start looking at professions. Let's just dive right in. Like, I know some of you have some ideas what you're going to play already. I know, Sarah, you're going to play a cultist.
Yeah.
So the best thing for you to do is learn to open up the book, read about the cultist, and then you'll put your profession at the top, and you write down your professional trait and your drawback up top.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm random.
Oh, yeah!
I am always random. Give me tables. So.
Rando
Make sure to
colorism.
roll out of the table in main gouge.
Alright.
This is a bigger table.
It is a bigger table. Much bigger table.
Can you get me?
Oh, yes.
I have short arms.
That drop.
I got small hands, so we're good company.
I am the T-Rex. Giant
Isn't there-
head,
isn't-
small arms.
Isn't there like in It's Always Sunny? There's like the lawyer who has really small hands. He's very weird about it. He's also a pederast, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
He,
the
like,
uncle.
The uncle, rather.
Yeah.
The uncle. The lawyer who's the uncle. I just saw that episode recently, and it's like whoever the radio commentator is from NPR. You're like, put your hands over mine. Very funny. Very funny. We were watching that show because I just came off Mythic Quest, and I'm like, I want more. I want more. So.
I couldn't make it through the wrestling one. I just had to stop watching that show.
No, I tell you, after that season, they took a much needed break, and the show got right back on track.
That was-
Yeah.
What, the Always Sunny wrestling one?
yeah.
When they were birds?
I thought that season was horrible.
I did
Oh,
not.
I hated that season.
there's not a
So-
season that I
I was
dislike.
not a fan. I was just like, where are they? What is
No,
going
that's
on?
right. You do need the main book to start it off because I have to get archetype.
You want the player's handbook?
Yeah.
Oh, PHP.
Excuse me while I have a library in my library.
You already know what you're doing, don't you?
Oh yeah, I got ideas. I gotta get them approach because I break things.
On your profession, you're gonna notice, and we'll do this for Sarah's benefit. She's playing a cultist. And you'll notice on your sheet you'll see a little table like this. You need to go to your 4th page, and you'll see basically it's called a profile. Just write all those
Advances.
yeah, write all those. If you wouldn't mind showing her, Mike, while you're over there, show her where she should write it down.
Yeah.
So I just got my original
Skill
thought on
ranks
this
and
was to
bonus
do
advances.
an inquisitor
It's easier that way you don't always have to like reference
kind of
the book.
slowly
Down all.
Just kind of going mad.
mad,
fellowship
and
bonus?
then go into sanguine legionnaire. Is that
Intelligence
possible?
bonus,
You can't start as an inquisitor.
bonus.
Well, no.
Call it
Yeah,
peanut
you're
butter.
right. You have to
Don't worry about
timber-
Got it.
don't worry about prerequisites yet.
Yeah.
You try
No.
to make,
I forgot
some
that
sort
was
of
way
butter
high.
for every. A, B would be apple butter.
I haven't looked in this book in a long time. Been a long time, Snake. I haven't wrote a character in like 3 years. Did you do Animal Tamer? Was that what you were to start? With all your animals last
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
That was a very cool build.
It was fun. I'm just happy I got a beast.
So
Got to-
that was pretty cool. What did you go? Animal trainer.
Animal tamer, trapper, then
What was the last one?
it was a game warden.
Game warden.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the animal tamer is that the rules we were using for that ended up being what's used in the new unannounced RPG
Yeah.
Oh.
for the
Cool.
summoner. Yeah.
That was cool, being able to like turn into a creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you Sasquatch that one did.
Any early thoughts about what kind of profession you may want to play, Adam?
I'm kind of waiting on everybody else, but because it seemed like a lot of other people did have ideas on what they want. One thing that kind of stuck out to me is to explore something I only got to like scratch the surface of, I would like to play an apostle because I did that for the Inglorious. Well, no, the legitimate
Legitimate bastards.
Legitimate
game,
Bastard, yeah.
and I really did like it, and particularly like if I'm if I get the more religious bent, and I can tackle into I can go a little bit more into being like one of the custodian's followers without being a magic caster.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
which would be fun. That's one area, but like I'm just kind of waiting until other people pick theirs, because if not, then I'll just roll random. You know, if someone wants to do the religious thing.
Yeah. Nick, what are you thinking?
Reaver.
Oh, nice.
Tell us about a Reaver. What's a
Reaver
Reaver?
is they are.
Maybe we should do this, just to kind of-
barbarian type thing.
Maybe we
But
can
yeah.
do what we did last time we created characters, where we actually read out loud the profession description so we all understand what these professions are. Is that the direction you're going to go?
That was.
I thought you were gonna be a good guy. You're gonna be a Reaver.
looking at. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Good guy Reaver.
the way everything rolled.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Like, you gave up after like 5 minutes.
I mean,
It's like Tim's
to
like,
play a warrior, but then my combat was like 30 something. I'm just like,
yeah.
meh.
It was like Tim being like, all right, I'm not gonna have any more hot cheese.
Yeah,
Hey.
exactly.
Hey, Dennis, tell me.
Yeah, right. It's all right.
No food.
You do
shaming.
you. As long as it's a Reaver. I like Reaver. Okay. That'll be fun. I've got like 3 to 4 ideas. Mostly
I want to
ranged.
reconsider.
I'm a cadet.
You're a cadet?
That's
Those
what I
guys are
got.
awesome.
I got cadet.
Oh,
Nick
that's
played
fun.
a cadet, didn't you once?
Tim did, yeah.
I did too.
Was it you? Okay.
Well, if you're going to be cadet, read the cadet off so we understand what it's about. We can frame it in the story.
It's
Do you
very
want me to
good.
read the whole paragraph? Or
Yeah,
just...
yeah, read all.
Okay. Though a few great military minds have forged on the heat of the battlefield, many commanders and generals were raised in the halls of martial knowledge. Starting their martial journey as a cadet, they are officers in training. Most cadets are children of wealthy aristocratic families, sent away to continue the family tradition of service. These military academies teach different tactical methods, the best words for leadership, and peerless knowledge of how the theater of war works. That said, cadets are still students who must submit their will to the sergeants and instructors, who are often authoritarian and dogmatic. The methodology produces strong soldiers as weak cadets who break were never worthy of holding command in the first place. Cadets are not always the most experienced in the ways of war, but they can lead small platoons and skirmishers and maneuvers that any seasoned soldier or mercenary would easily recognize. Unfortunately, cadets are generally inadequate fighters at best. Though officers are not meant to be on the front lines, having them stay out of a battle is bad for morale. Cadets need battle experience to truly test their stratagems and leadership. Exposure to violence is also expected to harden cadets, but it can sometimes break them too. Constant pressures from the Master Chiefs, nice.
Master Chief.
Vigorous exercise that can leave one sick, and harsh study can lead to a frail mind. One that ends with the cadet muttering arquebus drills to themselves while incarcerated in a sanatorium. Nice.
So I think what we'll probably assume about your cadet is they probably went to Kale Landon, and they probably did not finish their training. It'd be very difficult to justify. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that they are actually a Black Knight, a Landon?
I would almost say that if
Kale
they're
Landon?
if we're going with they're closer to middle age.
Yeah.
I would say why not?
So, probably finished academy at Kale Landon. So you finished your academy training there,
That's right, man. Do it again.
and you've not been knighted by any means.
Yeah.
But you also you're also kind of you have no lord at this point,
It's such
or
good.
lady, or you don't serve anyone
Such
at this
good
point,
ability
except for
cards.
perhaps yourself.
Maybe I did in the past and don't any longer.
Yeah, maybe you're. That's the idea behind like the Ronin. Like the Ronin is like a masterless samurai. Like maybe you're a masterless cadet. I think Ronin translates into wave. It's called wave warrior, I think, is what the translation is. And they basically kind of move between different juxtapositions. Like you'll serve whoever's playing. They're not mercenaries, so to speak. They are clearly trained, but like we can assume that you clearly graduated from Kale Landon. So you went to you were in military school. You were probably well landed. Your character probably was. Maybe you have an esteemed name that you can create. But I think that probably makes a lot of sense for your character.
Do you want me to read their ability?
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to know what their cool
Professional,
stuff is.
great,
Yeah.
so,
Their professional trait. Seize the opportunity. Spouting a litany of orders, others quickly fall in line under your order, and when words fail, you take to the fight yourself. Effect. When engaged with an ally and they fail to strike, you immediately may use an opportunity attack in their stead for 1 AP. You must be armed with a melee weapon in order to use this trait.
So,
That's actually pretty
as an
badass.
example, let's say you're standing side by side between Mike's character, and he swings his weapon and misses, or fires his weapon and misses.
Mm-hmm.
You can then use an opportunity attack. You can attack in return if they miss.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
If you can, and if you game it right, you could spend your movement actions to give aside people who have really low scores to strike,
Right,
And then
so-
take advantage of opportunity attacks.
So when Nick misses with his melee attack at 38, whatever he has,
I got a 29.
29 over there.
I have a 57 combat can actually follow up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
you're
you're-
gonna miss strike 2.
That's right. So Sarah, you're playing a cultist.
Correct.
Has anyone here played a cultist before?
Didn't you?
No.
I did in a side game.
I have an inside game, but not,
Oh, okay.
not for...
Nobody's
no, I was
played
a creature.
I don't think anyone's
Or-
played a
no,
cultist at this
I was an
point.
adherent.
No.
I played one when we were testing some magic stuff. I was
Yes.
almost, yeah.
I know you read off cultists last time we played. You want to just read off their professional trait and their drawback instead?
I can read the whole thing.
Sure. Okay, go for it.
Okay, in today's grim and perilous world, it should be no surprise that there are aristocrats, burglars, and the learned who seek power beyond their ossified positions in society.
Auspicious, I think.
That's not it. We'll worry about that later. Perhaps they joined a fraternal club at university, found a musty tome in the family library, followed family tradition, listened to the folklore of old, or were simply bored. Inducted into dark societies, they practice rites of age past, use sex magic, make strange sacrifices, and appease forgotten or banned gods, all with one aim: to make the darkness kneel before them. And over time, they can learn to command a sliver of the same divine grace as worshippers of state-sanctioned religions and employ the darkest of magics for their own benefit. Power both temporal and material. Every cultist knows they run the risk of losing their very soul in exchange for power. Such a yearning is never easy. It must be practiced in secret, lest they risk persecution. It explains why so many band together in secret clubs to practice their faith together. safety in numbers. Their desire for dark knowledge means that some also take up the adventuring life, because adventurers are more likely to uncover baleful knowledge and artifacts than anyone else. Of course, this knowledge claws at the minds of the impressionable, and many become raving lunatics locked away in distant sanitariums, where they converse with the voice of the abyss.
Both of our descriptions say we're going to go insane.
Yes.
It's going to be an interesting party.
What's their professional trait and drawback?
All right, so I don't know. Where do I find
It may
that?
be on this following page.
Oh, okay, drawback. I don't see professional. I see special trait. Yeah, special trait.
Should be one right above that
Cult
too.
personality.
Cult of personality. Okay.
So cult of personality is your professional trait.
Okay. You want me to read that one?
Yes, please.
Okay. The cultists can harness the ever-changing etheric winds as the wellspring of their magic. They exhibit mastery over the smallest of spells, but ignorance towards others beyond their understanding.
Mm-hmm.
The effect. When casting generalist magic, at your option, you may automatically succeed at the incantation test, but move one step down the peril condition track negatively. You also understand how to use the Ritual of Blessed Sacrament.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I think we talked about this before, but just to kind of so everybody knows, whenever you cast magic in Zweihander, you roll dice, you roll an incantation test, and it has a level of difficulty assigned to it. You obviously can just auto-succeed if you want, but of course you have to lower your peril condition track, which is your kind of threshold against anxiety, stress, and fear, as well as some physical effects. But you can automatically just lower it to succeed your test. What's your special trait? Do they have a special trait?
Divine Magic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you are a proxy to a distant god, calling for divine intervention with the utterance of sacred prayers. The effect. You are solely a practitioner of divine magic. As a consequence, you may never adopt a profession which has arcane magic as a special trait. In addition, you immediately learn 3 generalist magic spells when you enter this profession. If you gain divine magic from a previous profession, you learn an additional generalist magic spell instead.
Yeah. So basically what that means is there are basically 3 traditions of magic in Zweihander. There's arcane, which is like wizardy stuff. There's divine, which is you are a lightning rod or a proxy to some god or demon, as I'm sure you'll go that direction. And there's a third type, which is called covenant magic. Covenant magic is available to anyone. Basically, when you move to your next tier and you move to intermediate 2, you get to choose a new profession. My recommendation for you, even though it's not a consideration right now, but when you move into that, you should probably pick a profession from Mongosh, because that's where all the demonic magic comes from, which is covenant magic, which you'll gain access to. So basically what it's telling you from your special trait perspective is like your next profession you move into cannot wield arcana. They can she or whoever can only wield divine inspired magic. And divine does not necessarily mean good in this case. What's their drawback?
Cruel tutelage. As cultists are wholly self-taught in the ways of magic, the practice of their spells is messy and chaotic. Fortunate for the abyssal princes sensitive to this errant way of thinking, cultists and their ilk make easy prey, leading them down a path towards the blackest and most soul-corrupting of magics. The effect is when you generate face 1 or 6 with chaos dice, you invoke a chaos manifestation.
Yeah. So, like we learned in the previous game you played, anytime that you're given it, like if you're trying to cast a spell and I say, okay, your difficulty is hard, you have to subtract -20 from your roll. You're like, well, shit, I don't want to automatically succeed because I don't want to lower my peril condition track. Instead, I'm going to channel power. When you channel power, you're basically opening a tear between the material realm and the Well of Souls. And when you open that tear, sometimes things can seep out. You can adjust your difficulty rating by +10, +20, or +30, but depending on how far you go, 1, 2, or 3 steps, you'll roll a requisite number of D6 dice. Typically, chaos manifestations happen randomly on phase 6. For you, it happens on phase 1 or 6. Because cultists play with really dark magic. They're kind of on the edge of. They're pushing the edge of sorcery in a sense, I guess you could say. So yeah, your character will start with the professional trait. You don't have to worry about writing down the special trait, but definitely record your professional trait and record your drawback. Your professional trait will go under traits, and your drawback will go right up here in this box.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else know what they want to do?
Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going to be a beggar.
What?
Oh, I love it. Okay, tell us about tell us about the beggar.
The rich get richer and the poor get poorer in these trying times, with the beggar evidence of just how poor you can get. Beggars are common in large cities, drifting in crowded marketplaces and digging in rubbish piles, hoping for a piece of scrap. Every small town, its own local tramp or beggar. Any number of misfortunes can drive you to the life of a beggar. Debilitating sickness, a terrible war wound, or even psychological scarring. Such erstwhile unfortunates make their lives on the streets, clutching a chipped and cracked alms bowl to beg for a penning. Here they learn various underhanded skills and know who will fill their bowls and who will kick them in the stomach. Few burghers and even fewer aristocrats have any sympathy for these poor wretches. Beggars remain stalwart and strangely optimistic that their lot will improve. Leaving behind the broken bowl and picking up a stolen knife to become an adventurer is a way to improve their lot. Many see it as an infinitely better alternative to slogging through muddy streets and eating dead rats. Having become convinced that society doesn't care for them, adventuring beggars find little hope, the true nature of the universe being equally as uncaring. This has led many beggars back to where they started, sobbing in alleyways and jumping at shadows, even more scarred.
It's good.
Their trait is beggar's bowl, hand outstretched, arm in a sling, or leg strapped up to show only a stump. Your words and injuries might be honest or convincing and deceitful. Both will be supported by a long, sordid tale of the woes that befell you. Or you'll harry your mark down the street, demanding compensation for their good fortunes while belaboring how the world is against you. Either way, they'll drop a penny or two into your bowl, if only to shut you up.
It's Street Fighter from Kansas City. That's what I was thinking of when it was written.
Whenever you fail a guile or intimidate test, you may re-roll to generate a better result, but must accept the outcome.
Nice. That's good. So anytime you fail, you just roll 2 tests, you can re-roll without having to use a fortune point, which is nice. It's helpful. So we've got Kay as a cadet, Sarah as a cultist, Nick as a beggar. You know what you want to do, Mike?
So I've been hemming and hawing about it because there are some really good ones in Flames of Freedom. Like there's the Gorilla, there's the Grenadier that I thought was really good, and then there was the Goodness Gracious Great Ball of Fire build that I kind of want to do.
Yeah.
But that would require me to go kind of magic, maybe 2nd and 3rd tier. I don't know how we feel about that. But I could also do an alternate path where I go Blitzballer to Grenadier and just chuck grenades at long distance. I think that might be...
You think it would be a Blitzballer?
So Blitzballer, yeah, thrower, and into Grenadier. And then there's a profession in Flames of Freedom called Smith, which they get to add a quality to any weapon they make. And I think that would be fun to, like, at the end, like, if we're that far in, to be able to make my own bombs.
That's interesting. Are you going to play Blitzballer?
I think I'm going to do Blitzballer.
Okay, read the Blitzballer.
All right, the Blitzballer. All right. Life is full of pain, misery, and death, but that does not mean there is little time for recreation. Ironically, that recreation sometimes involves pain, misery, and death, in the form of Blood Blitz, a rough surf sport of unknown origins, played by bruisers, cretins, and dunces known as Blitzballers. The sport of Blood Blitz is played by 2 lineups of 11 players who compete to place an inflated animal's stomach, affectionately called a pigskin, past a post to score points. In Blood Blitz, savagery reigns, save from a universal no weapons allowed rule. Blitzballers otherwise have free reign to throat punch, eye gouge, land cheap shots on members of the opposing team. The game is a complex but brutal and has seen a rapid spread in popularity because of the unadulterated violence. The best Blitzballers have even gained a little fame, such as Herr Jervis Jansen of the team Spielwerkstatt. I don't know how to say it. Any idea how you...
Spielwerkstatt.
Yeah,
There you go.
this is German. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spielwerkstatt.
I'd have to
Just
see
say
the
it. Just say it faster. Just say it real fast. Spielwerkstatt.
Spielwerkstatt.
There you go. All right. Our German expert there. All right. Well-to-do merchants sometimes find themselves sponsoring Blood Blitz, forming teams to settle perceived and material scores between rivals. Although blitzballers are brutish, many are little more than dim-witted youths drafted off of the plowshare and press-ganged into the field to play for the masses and to settle disagreements between feuding merchants. Deep down, many are vulnerable, scared, and unsure of how to deal with their newfound fame and responsibilities. The very best of blitzballers may see riches heaped upon them by their merchant managers for their vicious acts of violence. Few understand how to properly cipher or take under account a life beyond Blood Blitz, thus spending their coins lavishly, we'll say, burning out like a candle at both ends. Of course, as much as a crowd roars at the sight of a blitzballer smashing their elbow into a defender's face and breaking their nose before slamming the bladder past the post and scoring a point, there is nothing more fitting than seeing a gold-laden blitzballer in the throes of anguish, sobbing for their mother as they lose the big game.
So basically, it's the equivalent of like medieval football.
Right.
They're literally serfs that are taken off the plow field, the biggest, best, and dumbest of bruisers.
Yeah.
And they're paid by merchants to settle scores between rival merchant houses. And they even have names. In fact, I think that Kent played.
One that played one.
Clint Skipper played a blitzballer named Gaunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaunter something. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
But there's a whole story on the wiki about it that he wrote.
Nice.
So if you're looking for some inspirational information, it's there.
Yeah.
So we have Mike is a blitzballer, Nick is a beggar, Sarah's a cultist, and Kay is a cadet. Tim, where'd you land?
Slayer or Hedge Knight?
Well, there's
I've never played Hedge Knight, and then we played a one shot where
Yeah,
you
we
get to play
basically
Slayer.
the last two. So
Hedge between the two.
But I did get to play it for
Hedge Knight may be a more intriguing fit.
Well, Slayer, because of all the we're going to go high fantasy and we're going to see creatures, right? I mean, it might actually because the last time I played Slayer, we did it in a one shot and never got to use the
Slayer is also fun
Slayer's
too.
a good one, yeah.
But you don't get the bonuses until you actually defeat those types of the monsters. Yeah, Slayers. There's two. I mean, they're both very good professions. They both have their own.
and everybody and I think Hedge Knight's been played several times at the table.
Right.
Has
but
anybody
is there-
played a Slayer? Besides,
Yeah, once at least. Someone did. No,
I did. I did it in a one
Matt
shot.
Fulbright did.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, what do you want to play more? Because either way, like you're.
But it sounds more compelling.
Well, I mean, both are going to drive you to chaos. I'm really trying to play something completely
I mean,
different.
you get even more chaos with
Well, I know. That's for the
because
reason.
the Hedge Knight gets +1 chaos.
Yeah,
They get,
that's
they get lots of corruption.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to break the mold of, this the stuck-up warrior class that I usually play.
Well, then.
Well,
if
you remember, Hedge Knight is a pretender knight.
Right.
They're like they're what are called commonly in the city as peacock knights, but
Right.
Hedge Knights like basically professional knights
Right.
who sell. They're not strictly mercenaries. They do have a code of conduct to some degree,
Right.
but they are easily malleable because they
Sounds like
are
Osborne.
clearly
Osbert.
bad people.
Definitely Osbert.
Osborne is a jester, but
But he kind of helped
well,
those.
do you want to wear
ideals.
armor or not?
Well, that was my thing. Is like the Slayer sounds very interesting because it is more fantasy style, right? And that sounds kind of like where we're going. And she's already going to play a cadet, so
Yeah.
that's
Play a
kind
Slayer.
of our professional.
do a Slayer.
It's kind of the professional warrior class already.
I'm also going to draw a pentagram right beside your name.
Yes.
Is it the pentacles upside, pentagrams down? I don't know. Read the description of the Slayer.
Have
Tell us
no
about the
idea.
Slayer.
There are things in the
Buffy.
dark that mean ill to all, but there are a few who dedicate their lives to hunting such things. Take up the mantle of Slayer. I think that's supposed to say those that take up the mantle of Slayer never come about under joyous circumstances. It always begins in blood. a mind-shattering experience that leaves the Slayer in pain and on a path inevitably ends in a bloody demise. I already like that. That's exactly what I was looking for. Each Slayer vows to aid all those who need monsters slain. So it's kind of The Witcher, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The best
With a death wish, though.
Yeah.
The fact their drawback is death wish, I think. But go on.
The best survive great battles unseen and unsung. They offer their aid. They offer aid seen as the means to scare or extort the peasantry out of ale and coins. There is no such thing as a bad slayer. Should one make even a single mistake, then they're probably going to end up as another skull, littering the lair of the thing that still stalks the night. You would want to continue further? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You have to read it all.
The path of the Slayer takes them into dark corners where they often discover the naked and ugly truths of the world. They know the sins that birth monster creatures that lurk, have seen the shadowed undead of the peripheral of reality, and the face demon hordes in mortal combat. Few escape such encounters unscathed mentally or physically. Only for the Slayer to search out the deadly after deadly encounters until sweet death takes their last breath. This path can also lead a Slayer's comrades into doom, where the Slayer professes a death wish that can only be fulfilled by a vainglorious death. After Slayer's path, after you successfully defeat a creature, providing not humanoid or player of ancestry.
Yeah, no player. You can't be like a Slayer of Eridane.
Oh,
as an example,
okay.
It has to be basically non-human creatures.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Its kind then becomes your chosen enemy. When attacking your chosen enemy, you always add a 1d fury dice to your melee attacks. In addition, you are immune to intimidate skills, along with stress, fear, and terror, and used by these creatures. Mm-hmm. Note, there is no upper limit to the number of chosen enemy types a Slayer can have.
Basically, what that means is every enemy type that you manage to kill, all of you, guaranteeing that you had a hand in it, they then become your chosen enemies. So if you fight those types of creatures again, you get the plus 1d6 damage, you ignore their stress, fear, terror, impact, and they can't intimidate you. So, but it's only after you slaughter them.
Right.
Yeah. So you're a Slayer in training. That's the best way to look at it. You probably have a lot of interesting knowledge about the world and of monsters. So think of it more along the lines of, it is kind of like The Witcher, but your character is also saddled with a pretty serious drawback called
Death Wish. In order to follow the Slayer's path, you cannot wear armor, as it violates this tenet. If you should don armor, you do not gain the benefit of any professional trait, Slayer or otherwise, that you possess. Yeah. So that's
not having armor.
It's not that big a deal anymore, right?
Well, we're not using determination to modify.
Well,
so
I didn't know that.
Not wearing armor in this game it follows the tradition of Zweihander. Whenever you suffer an injury and you're not wearing armor, you begin to bleed. But it's actually not that bad any longer because all injuries force you to bleed anyway. So for you, it's just really about not being able to modify your damage threshold with armor ever.
Right.
And that's how it is. And if you walk Slayer's path, you cannot. If you wear armor, you don't get your benefits of your profession. So yeah,
I thought we were still using determination. That's what I was like.
We are not.
Matter.
No, we are not. So last but not least, Adam.
In that case, I am going to go with the Apostle.
Hey, Apostle.
And, the divine blessings of the gods are a powerful force, seemingly the only thing keeping people from doubting their existence in a grim and perilous world. However, not every priest has the capacity or desire to channel holy might. Enter the Apostle. These novitiates have just started working for the faith and come from all walks of life, child or adult, starved or sated, pauper or prince. They are laymen who have recently joined the church and have yet to earn the full raiment of that friarhood has to offer. Many apostles are given charge of the menial tasks necessary to the church's operation, whether it is leading small prayers, handing out sacraments, or attending to the church's abbot. An apostle spends most of their day involved in studying liturgical works, in prayer, and often severe boredom. While their numbers may be many, few ever finish their training and go on to become a friar. Many apostles lapse in their official duties and turn to other means to convert the faithless. If one thing eats at the back of the apostles' mind, it is their desperate itch to prove themselves, not only to the faith, but also to the wider world without. In the church, they are often seen as little more than part-time workers or children, which obviously rubs them the wrong way. Many are willing to do basically anything in order to move up the ecclesiastical ranks, steal from other churches, or even serve as enforcer goons for anyone who denigrates the faith. Many pick up their implements of peaceful enforcement, quote, to beat their religion into others, often with an iron-shod stick. The forces of corruption love nothing more than a cleric abusing their divine mandate, and if they can manage to influence an apostle, their movement up the ranks could result in thousands of the church's flocks to sway to these fell powers of darkness. Their professional trade is called by crook or by hook. There is a willingness to apostles to spread their faith by all means necessary. Others protest at such unethical approaches, but that's generally because they're being berated while suffering the apostles' wrath. And the effect is, whenever you deal damage with a weapon, you also inflict an equal amount of mental peril. This only affects creatures that are classified as a humanoid or a mutant, including player ancestries. So, I may not be able to use that much if we're fighting a whole bunch of creatures, but it's still fun. Drawback. Vow of non-violence.
Non-violence.
Most find it deeply ironic that apostles take on bludgeoning instruments to convert others to their faith. To an apostle, bloodshed is at least mitigated in this fashion, as their martial instrument of conversion serves as a grim reminder to not denigrate the faith. In fact, you can only use weapons that are of brawling or crushing types. Otherwise, you cannot use any of your traits or talents conferred by this profession.
Yeah, so it's kind of a play on the whole idea of like the D&D cleric can't use bladed weapons, they only use crushing weapons in old editions.
Yeah.
So, non-violence. Like, it's okay, it's just blunt force trauma, big deal.
We're just breaking brains.
That's right. Breaking brains. I think probably the next best thing is to actually do some random rolls for the rest of the Mad Lib.
I don't know.
Does anyone want to be older than an adult? Or younger? If so, we can randomly roll. If not, just under your age, just put adult.
I actually did randomly roll and I got adult. So.
Nice. Yeah. So ancestry. Everyone's ancestry, save for Adam's, is going to be Aradane. So Aradain. And then gender identity, man, woman, whatever, however you want to classify yourself. Which is right after that on Mad Lib. I do suggest we roll for build, complexion, eyes, hair, and mark. Unless you have something in mind specifically. What do you all think?
I'm good with that.
Okay. So everyone grab percentiles.
I need to see.
And we will go through the details. So everybody roll. What'd you get, Sarah?
11.
You are of a slight build. What about you, Adam?
I got a 68.
Or I'm sorry. You're a lean build. Sorry, it's a lean
Lean,
build.
okay.
And what'd you get, Adam?
68.
You are a stocky build. Anybody else want to randomly roll that?
Rolled a 94.
You are also stocky.
Okay. 65.
65. You have a normal build.
54.
54. You also have a normal build. Let's roll, Nick.
62.
You are also a normal build. So complexion. Would you give me the player's handbook, please? The player's handbook.
Oh, player's handbook, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, this is only found in the
But
PHB.
oldie's still a goodie.
Oldie is still a goodie. Look under character creation.
Just flip a coin.
Okay. So already rolled percentiles if you would.
Alright, do it.
Sounds better.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I just
definitely
want to call people out.
calling the people that's pretty cool.
What'd you get out?
36.
Well, it's just a
You have a light
monster.
tan
Yeah.
complexion.
What if I am a different
Combat,
ancestry?
combat,
man.
brawn,
Yeah.
yeah.
What about yourself?
That guy or
60.
16.
I do love them more.
You,
60.
Oh, 60.
That's the other
You have a
thing.
dark
Two
tan.
attack
Sorry.
things, yeah.
You have a
Yeah.
dark tan complexion.
Dark tan.
Uh,
broken.
roll percentiles, Mike.
A 71.
71. Oh, you've got brown complexion. What about you, Tim?
05.
05. You got a pale complexion.
Hell.
What about Nick?
60.
60. You have a dark tan complexion. What'd you end up with, Kay?
49.
Oh, nice. So you got tan complexion. Eyes? Eyes are fun. We'll go the other way this time. What'd you get, Kay?
93.
93. You have thoughtful gray eyes.
Thoughtful.
What'd you get, Nick?
81.
81. You have soft green eyes. What about you, Tim?
08.
08. You have bright hazel eyes.
Bright hazel eyes.
What about you, Mike?
84.
84. You have startling gray eyes.
80.
80. Intense hazel eyes.
59.
59. You have kindly blue eyes. Hair. We're gonna do length, style, and color. So roll. So everybody roll percentiles first. And I'll tell you what it is. This is to put 3 words under hair. So just stack them on top of each other. So what'd you get, Evan?
13.
Cropped.
All right, so I got an idea for the hair for mine. So
Okay, do
hear
whatever you
me
want.
out. So I
Yep.
thought it'd be kind of fun because you remember how I did the thing last time with the head wrap or
Yep.
whatever. I thought I could make my hair a surprise later when it could be important with something.
Yeah, do that.
Okay,
So
so
maybe
it's
you're-
unknown right now.
So your character kind of wears, your character wears. So in the
head
case
scarf.
of hair display, and a head scarf on their, just put like head scarf on their hair, and we'll get to the mark in a moment. What'd you get, Mike?
I got a 12.
Okay, remember this is they're gonna have 3 results on this, so it's long.
Really like him.
Mine's long, okay.
Yeah.
55.
55. Near shaved.
Okay.
And you're gonna stack 3 words on top of each other. By the way, here, just a reminder. What'd you get, Nick?
83.
83. Short.
38.
38. Medium. Everybody roll percentiles again. This is how you create. You can create non-white people hair in the system. Like all the different hair types. What'd you get?
51.
51. Straight. Don't worry about you. Mike, what'd you get?
68.
Okay. It's textured. What'd you get? Tim?
54.
54. Straight.
23.
23. Curly.
18.
18. Braided. And then your final roll. What'd you get, Adam? 4. Auburn.
66.
66. Brown.
82.
Gray.
52.
52. Brown.
92.
Red. So now read all 3 words together. What'd you get, Adam?
Cropped straight auburn hair.
Okay.
I got long textured brown hair.
What'd you get, Tim?
Near shaved, straight, and gray. And I'm pale. The whitest
Yeah.
dude on the
You're.
planet.
Are you?
like pasty.
like sickly.
What'd you get?
Short, curly brown.
Like a
Nice.
Medium braided red.
Nice. Okay. So that's how you do hair in Flames of Freedom. You roll 3 different values that you can create non-standard hair. Or I should say, common people hair that's not like white people hair. And then we need to roll our mark. A mark is a physical affectation about you that's important. The question is, are you going to choose your own mark? Because I thought you had something in mind.
I do.
Yeah, which is?
Something to do with the hair.
Okay, all right, we'll get to that then.
Okay.
Later.
23.
Okay. You have a persistent cough.
47.
47.
Already 7.
Broken teeth.
That makes sense.
Tim, what'd you get?
That actually does. 83.
83. You have scarified skin.
Okay.
You are sickly.
What'd you get, Nick?
5.
5. You have a Cheshire grin.
Man, they really know how to peg you.
What'd you get, Kay?
Night Father,
100.
Chest Fire.
Wooden denture.
Really, just the dice did
You
not
have
work
wooden
in your
denture.
favor.
I wanted to play something different. It didn't let me.
The dice gods
The
said
dice
no.
gods were like, no, I don't think so. So going around, we'll go first with Sarah. What season was your character born in?
Winter.
Winter. Roll percentiles.
Okay.
This is your dooming.
Oh, okay. 82.
82. Your dooming is the stars can lead you astray.
That's a good one. I think I've had that one before.
What month is your character born in, Mike?
Spring.
Spring. Oh, sweet summer child. Wait, spring. Oh,
Do you roll that or just pick it up?
Just pick it.
You can pick whatever you
Okay.
want.
roll percentiles.
14.
Haha. Health is not. Oh, sorry. Still waters run deep.
Okay.
Don't step into puddles. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Stick to the rivers and the lakes like we're used to.
Yes. What you may find in this game is that we will sing a lot of songs when we play.
That's why
And lots of puns, which Kay will track. It's not a pun, it's a song. To be fair.
And
Yeah,
usually
that
over
tracks.
after 5 or 6.
It
Case stops liking
That's good.
which is why none of us can play Scalds.
That's right.
Basically.
Only if Adam brings a guitar, you can be the skull.
Oh yeah,
And the
unfortunately.
walrus. Tim.
It's all modern music.
What season?
I'll go fall because it's not been used.
Fall. Autumn, as we say.
Autumn.
Roll percentiles.
69.
Hey.
Well, the shadows stalk hungrily.
Yes, perfect.
Hunger for
When is
blood.
the Night Father's star sign appear in
Winter.
the sky? Winter, okay. My roll is a 39.
39. Iron is weak, gold is strong.
That makes great sense for a beggar.
Summer 51.
Summer 51. Okay.
Like the summer of 51?
Yeah. You will burn brightly, and then you will be snuffed out.
When is the custodians?
Fall.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah, I guess.
autumn. I rolled 100.
Do not push for more, as you will get it.
So, like when he always takes his coins to re-roll and then crit fails?
Mm-hmm.
Scarily accurate.
We need to determine alignment. And just as a reminder about alignment is basically two parts of your personality that are similar, but your character tends to lean toward them in times of stress and duress. This will be the first time you get to use corruption in the game too, so you'll see how that kind of that push-pull mechanic works. At some point, when you fill up your chaos alignment, your chaos ranks to 10, you gain like a disorder, an affliction of like you actually kind of given to the weight of the choices you've made. If you build the 10 order, you get a fate point, which is your get out of jail free card. So, do you want to roll for alignments?
Yeah, right?
And we're going to actually break them apart. We're not going to keep them paired together. We're going to do completely disjointed
Okay.
alignments.
Okay.
So I think this is a really fun way to create some interesting kind of differences in personality. So, and if you're dissatisfied with what you roll, you can always reroll. I need to get to it. Where is alignment? Where's this book? Son of a bitch.
I think it's before complexions and all that stuff.
I think so too. I thought so. I don't know if I'm just like overlooking it. Height and weight, all that stuff. Social class upbringings, drawbacks, languages. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Most odd turn.
So everybody roll percentiles, and this will be your chaos alignment, the one on the left, the left-handed path. What'd you get, Adam?
92.
92. Your order alignment is wisdom. Your chaos alignment. Is rancor.
Yeah.
You are the Star Wars monster. Rancor. I'll read Ranker for you, because Ranker's kind of fun. Ranker. Regardless of a full head of hair or an upright back or smooth skin at heart, you are old, cantankerous, and cranky. Set so firmly in your own knowledge and experiences that you silently and openly dismiss others. Oh my god, this is me. You are viewed as a single-minded codger, incapable and stodgy. People know this about him. Your alignments, you're renowned by this among strangers and mostly friends. They're like, oh yeah, that fucking guy, like, he's totally rancorous. Like, he's an asshole. What'd you get, Sarah?
This is 6 or 60. You said
That's a 6.
6.
That's a
So
6.
yeah, 6.
Okay. 6. Tyranny. Tyranny is tied to
That's my favorite.
ambition. Yeah.
What's
A
the
natural, a natural leader you are, certainly, but towards all the wrong ends. You inspire those who listen to your words into a hateful fervor and possess a paranoid and vindictive streak that can almost certainly be your undoing.
That's perfect.
Oh my god, Sarah, that's you. I'm just kidding.
That's perfect for her character, though.
It is. What'd you get, Mike?
31.
31. Hypocrisy. Oh, man. Where is hypocrisy? Hypocrisy.
Hypo crazy.
Oh, crazy.
Others see you for what you are. A charlatan and a liar. Unwilling or unable to be held to your words. Your judgments and insights are likely seen as false and unlikely to be followed or trusted. Hypocrite. What'd you get, Tim?
98.
98. Fanaticism.
Yes.
That works.
Yeah. Here we go. The hand of either a just or cruel God, your unwavering dogma will cause the suffering and misfortune of many you may come in contact with. You are the personification of oppressive thought, and you will be viewed as a symbol of such. You shall be feared, but as a monster that must be hunted.
Yes.
You are the monster. Man is the monster. What'd you get, Nick?
2.
2. Mayhem. Shit.
You tried.
Tried. Did I
really
say
tried.
You have a lack of focus or an idiosyncratic way that practically invites chaos into the lives of those who you come into contact with. Worse still, you thrive off of social turmoil. Not necessarily meant to imply the wanton spilling of blood, mayhem is a general whirlwind of confusion that follows your actions. So, at his worst, mayhem.
And best.
MBD. What'd you get, Kay?
55.
55. Martyrdom.
It just played a mark.
Interesting. Interesting.
Always reroll if you want.
Yep.
The dice spoke.
You are possessed with a dedication towards
Oh, yeah,
ending
we have
your life
Phoenix
in a
this game, I guess.
You are possessed with a
I'm gonna
dedication
try, man.
towards ending your life in a way that befits your destiny. You're not just willing to offer yourself a sacrifice. You pursue that with a morbid zeal, eagerly anticipating the day you can turn yourself into a fable. Yeah. So now we roll your order alignment, which is like it's the opposite side of how things are, what you're known by. Like at your best moments, it's your order alignment. Your worst moments, it's your chaos alignment. What'd you get, Adam?
13.
13. Charity. Your heart thrives on the notion that it is morally just to provide for the needs of others. While certain charlatans will attempt to prey upon you for your goodwill, your generosity will win you many friends and favors in return.
Sophisticated book.
Basically, Sheldon in Jupiter's Legacy.
Sure.
Charity and Rancor.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but go on.
79.
79. Mystery. You're an outsider, and a bemused misunderstanding of your ways and culture help you sidestep all sorts of inconveniences. Your social situation is unclear, and therefore the paths before you are many, an advantage afforded to very few. So what's your order alignment? What's your order and your alignment paired together?
Tyranny and mystery.
Yeah. What'd you get, Mike?
28.
28. Dignity. You were composed and unflappable. A model of decency and proper behavior in even the most trying and dedicated circumstances. You're likely to be trusted as someone who behaves in a way fitting their station, whatever that may be. What are your alignments now?
I am hypocrisy and dignity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those parallel check.
I do. What'd you get, Tim?
Vanity. Oh, 49.
49. Gravitas.
Oh, do I look at that right? Oh, vanity's here.
Lots of big speeches. You have an aura of charisma, a depth of knowledge, and great confidence. Your words carry weight as others fully put stock in your abilities. You inspire people or terrify them, but either way, they listen. You're a professional browbeater and murderous slayer. You are. I'll be the map. I'm just kidding. What'd you get, Nick?
86.
86. Sophistication.
Sophisticated.
You're down on your luck, aristocrat. Your appreciation of the finer things is more than just a way to impress others. You're the beggar king. What are you talking about? You're not a snob, as you appreciate the pleasures of all kinds and class, acknowledging quality wherever it exists. In addition, your knowledge makes you well-read but culturally accepted. Are you a cast-aside aristocrat?
I think so. Like,
He knows where the best trash can food
I
is.
have good taste, and that's why I'm poor. I spend all the money.
You're a
yourself into
spendthrift.
debt.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Kay?
12.
Okay. That gives you candor. Or candor, if you're a Star Wars character. You are direct and steady, a firm believer in the marriage of words and deeds. Others treat your proclamations with the greatest respect and never doubt that you mean what you say. You're you're full of truthiness. To use the Stephen Colbert. Truthy. So those are your alignments. So the next question I have for you all is this. Everyone starts with 1 fate point, but if you choose to start with 2, you will suffer another drawback in return.
Ooh.
Yep.
Who wants a drawback?
Yes, please.
If you remember, you get 1 fate point. It's your get out of jail free card. If you want to start with 2 instead, you must suffer a drawback in kind. Only 2 takers.
No, I want one too.
There you go.
Okay, so if you are taking a drawback, mark your fate points as 2. If you are not taking one, just mark it as 1.
I'm trying to think.
Remember when everybody used to take them? And they're like, oh god, you suck!
I never took them. You died about it.
Their character,
I never
they
did
build character.
I really don't.
I
I probably
I usually
should.
do,
because-
but I'm not doing it this time.
Okay.
So
Whoever's going to take a drawback, and you'll write this at the top of your sheet once again under your drawbacks, this will be a permanent drawback you can never get rid of. Roll percentiles if you're taking one.
86.
I wrote poorly.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, guess what?
You gotta pick.
You start with a veteran's boot. You're missing a foot.
It's got a pick line.
Maybe I should take one.
So I'll read the fluff and then I'll tell you the effect.
Oh, I know what it does.
Perhaps lost in an unfortunate carriage accident during an intense battle or in the jaws of a rabid animal, you're missing a foot. Then its place is a wooden boot, which you must strap onto your leg to stand up straight. It makes a characteristic clud sound as you walk, which has earned you a number of embarrassing nicknames.
Clubfoot.
So you cannot charge, maneuver, or run without spending an additional action point.
That's right.
And you get 2 fate points. It's your veteran's boot. What'd you roll?
Okay. 12.
Yeah, you want the middle. You really want the middle.
Your drawback is branded.
Brandon.
You are one of the disenfranchised of society. The bonded, a serf, a slave, or perhaps even a thrall. You're looked upon poorly by most of society, treated with some manner of contempt or apprehension, if acknowledged at all. Most of those who are branded take great pains to hide the shame of their past. Perhaps you're even the bastard-born progeny of an unknown father. It's up to you to decide how you were branded.
Branded.
So, whenever you interact with those who know you're branded and they hold you in contempt due to it, you cannot succeed at fellowship-based skill tests. So basically, yeah, whenever you interact with those who are branded, it's I believe it's on page 72.
That one's a tough one.
Yeah. Who else took a drawback?
I changed my mind. I'll take one.
Roll percentiles.
30.
30. I don't want to give you this one because you had this one last time.
Okay.
Well, I take that back. You know what? I think you should take this one. This is a good one.
Is it a penny pound one?
No, it's
one
Deal with the
gambling
Devil.
one? Oh, that's what I want.
Your family is cursed, having struck a Faustian bargain with the Dark Power. Written in blood, this contract guaranteed that your ancestors had to give a part of their soul. Now this deal falls to you and your offspring. Take this permanent marker. Mark one of your chaos ranks permanently. It can never be erased.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's what I was hoping I could
That's
just
not bad.
choose.
Depends on who you are. That's bad.
Free chaos ring? Come
Okay,
on.
did you take
That's what I
one?
was
Yeah.
hoping I could choose.
Roll. What'd you roll?
I love that it's a free chaos ring. I didn't have to earn this one.
Not permanent, free.
44.
Well, it's permanent, all right.
Permanently free.
44. Well, it looks like our cadet is lily-livered.
Totally works.
You get butterflies in your stomach in the most innocuous of situations. It cannot be helped, and when forced into strange and otherworldly situations, your legs tremble and you have a hard time concentrating. Whenever you fail to resist stress, fear, and terror, you reduce your initiative movement by -3. That lasts until you sleep.
What was it? Stress.
Fear and terror.
Fear, terror.
You reduce your initiative and movement by -3. It lasts until you get a good night's sleep.
Minus 3 initiative, and what was it?
Movement.
Good lord.
Anybody
Alright,
else want to drop? You get a fate point. No.
Do it.
Can I choose the permanent rank?
No.
Oh.
These are all random.
Can I have another one but not get the other benefit?
Of course you can. If you want to take more drawbacks,
Yeah.
I will give you 3 if you want. But no, then roll.
One more. Okay, this one's 6.
6. You get a black cataract, friend.
Alright.
Why are you playing Osbert?
Your eye has grown over
Got
with
the
glaucoma.
exact same too.
Right. Did he have that?
Yes!
You want a different one then?
Yeah, I did.
Remember
Okay.
when he got the demon pack?
Oh, that's
he said
right.
his eyes
He
went
had the
black.
demon. He had the devil in his eye. That's right.
Okay, 64.
64. Okay. Well, you get a persecution complex. Everyone, literally, everyone is out to get you. There is no doubt in your mind that others may be following you, or trying to trick you, or are ridiculing you behind your back. Mm-hmm. We know these people in our close circles. You cannot rest to recover peril in urban environments unless you take laudanum. Oof. Yeah, you gotta take some drugs, baby.
Elisa had that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
She did.
That was an expensive one.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Nobody else wants to take a draw on that? No? We good? Okay, cool.
Take a permanent chaos rank.
It's random.
A free chaos ring.
Cheos.
Free.
So, under
Bonus.
languages, everyone speaks the language of Ald, A-U-L-D, which translates to literally old. In the case of Sarah's cultist, you also speak Ancient Ald. Old. Ancient Old.
It's ancient.
It's like saying con queso cheese or lucha libre wrestling. It's like cheese or wrestling.
I did roll dwarf, so should I be a Pictish?
That is entirely up to you.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you and how you choose to frame that.
Well, would you be okay with me being Siabran with dwarf?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I think it's natural to attribute the Siabran ancestry culture to elves, but they're not elves. We'll talk about that in story, what all that means, but just know that a Siabran is not Eridane. They come from the west, and they're very, very strange. They wear wooden masks. They never show their faces. They're known by a moniker. They don't share their name with anybody. Nobody sees their faces. They are very, quote, secretive. But perhaps you're an unmasked Siabra.
I think it'd be interesting if there was a reason to become unmasked during the campaign.
Yeah. Maybe they wear an iron mask?
Something. I'll have to think about what their mask is, but yeah, I definitely want it to be a mask.
What if you were brought to Aglador and forced to wear an iron mask
Sure.
and became a follower of the steward?
I was thinking of going the custodian route, but yeah. Like,
You were forced to follow the
Oh, yeah,
steward.
forced
That
to
doesn't
follow
mean
the
that you
steward. Yeah,
follow
that's
the
right,
steward. I mean,
so what language do the Siavran speak?
They speak still sign. Still sign is sign language. And you also speak Ald.
Okay.
Put a pin on still sign. Put a little star beside it. I think what we're probably going to do is make the two of you, your characters will know one another.
Okay.
So also give your character, Sarah, the language of still sign, which means you two can use sign language to communicate. So the two of you can communicate silently together. Yeah. Creepy. So let's move next to, we did fate points, we did afflictions or his drawbacks. We did everything at the top of the character sheet. My recommendation to you all is to fill in all of your values on this sheet. And what you're going to start with is every single skill rank.
Yep.
what?
Yep. So what that basically means is mark every skill rank with a circle here, and then if you see it on the front of your sheet,
Holy shit.
mark it with a circle.
Well, normally you get to pick your thing.
Oh, okay.
You'll have a skill rank automatic. You'll have all those skill ranks automatically for your profession.
Trait plus drawback / quirk.
Yep.
I am the law.
So your current reward
really
points
good,
should
yeah.
be 0, and your total reward points should be 1,100 if you're tracking.
1,000.
Coincidentally, did everybody write their traits down and their drawbacks on their character sheet too?
Not yet. I did miss that.
You got mine.
If you haven't, just carry them to the front.
So, did we do
Holy cons-
ancestral traits?
We're going to get to that in just a moment.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yep.
already rolled that.
Oh, cool. What'd you get?
Natural selection.
Oh, nice. What's that do?
Permanently change one of your primary attributes to 55.
What'd you change?
I haven't decided yet, but
It's tough.
That's a tough one.
well, okay. So, are we doing by human doing the minuses to the
Nope.
bonuses?
Nope.
We're not
I
doing
think that's
those.
what the
Okay,
star
because
sign
that was
stuff
one
was.
of the things. Because
Nope.
otherwise, I was going to have a 2 in willpower, and
Nope.
that needed to change.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'd recommend doing now is just make sure that your sheet's filled in here, mark all the circles for those skill ranks, and then carry them forward onto the front of your character sheet. So just mark them over here if you've got a skill rank in it, which remember gives you a plus 10%.
Here is the ones from the book,
Yep.
and then
Would you show
rewrite
me?
the ones that aren't already on here.
No.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
so-
fill in. So like I have simple range, so I circled in that.
Basically, the best way to look at this sheet
Okay,
is
I gotcha.
this is a worksheet. This basically tells you the things that you've acquired during gameplay. We're assuming everyone automatically starts with all their skill ranks. So just mark the circles here, which means you've already technically acquired those.
Okay.
And by acquiring those reward points, you'll just simply mark them on your front of your sheet.
And that means we get the plus 10%
Right.
anytime. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So long as not perilled to the second level.
Yeah.
Mm.
So then we won't be starting with any of our talents.
No.
Okay.
What happened?
You get all your skills.
But we don't get our
No talents.
talent.
That's a
Or
that's a trait.
advances.
You get your professional traits.
You get your professional
drawback.
trait. Yeah.
Your talents are down here. The
Wait,
last 3
you don't
on the
get
right
these.
side.
Oh, you get everything but the talents. Got it.
Yeah.
No,
Right, you don't get this
You
side.
get this. Yeah, you just
You
get the
get
left
these,
side.
but you don't get these.
Okay.
You have to buy those eventually.
That's right.
Got it. Got it.
Bye bye bye.
I got the dance stuck in my head for that dance song.
The mountain stuff. We never get to use any. You were the only person that never got to use a horse.
For a little bit, yeah.
Till
Full problem.
Yeah.
we broke a horse.
So, has everyone done that already?
Yep.
You feel good about it, Sarah?
I feel good about it.
Perfect. The next thing you need to do is you take, if you have let's say you take the first number of your percentile and put it in the box. So if you had what's your combat, Sarah?
40.
So you would have a 4 CB, which is 4 combat bonus. What's your brawn?
42.
So you'd have a 4 brawn bonus. These values are called secondary attributes. They modify a bunch of different things, which we'll get to on the rest of your sheets. But for now, go ahead and just conjugate all your maths there on the front.
And so what about these bonus advances here?
You will buy those later on with reward points. You'll acquire those as a part of gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah. But for now, you don't mark those. You just mark your raw value here. And as you buy them, you'll mark a little circle like it says, okay, I've got a 40. If I get a 40 combat and I have a combat bonus of 4, if I buy one and none, I have a combat bonus of 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just do all your maths down there, throw all your bonuses to the bottom, all the way to fellowship. Coincidentally, we will not be using focuses in this game. So be sure to, if you see focuses in language, just mark through the word focuses. Unless you have a profession that gives you access to it.
Why is that?
Focus is what I like to refer to as deprecated mechanics. It is not in Flames of Freedom for several reasons. We're not going to use it in our game. Everybody done with that? You all will get an additional trait as part of being Eridane or Siabran or whatever. And these are drawn from Flames of Freedom. They are completely random. So the question is, do you want to use ancestral traits for Zweihander, or do you want to use the big list from Flames of Freedom? Because there's like 72 traits in Flames of Freedom we've never touched. It's up to you all.
I kind of wanted to use the dwarf ancestral traits
It's
because
entirely up to you.
Yeah.
It's your choice. So, you want to use the standard human traits inside of Zweihander? Or do you want to use a big list of that you've never seen, but nobody else has seen before?
And we're just rolling for it?
Yep, it's just a free trait.
Well,
Completely
I
random.
kind of feel like I want to do something new that nobody's seen before.
Okay, cool.
So.
What about you, Mike?
We'll do the Flames of Freedom stuff.
Tim?
Roll them rocks. Big money, big
Nick?
money. No whammies.
Okay, I'll go along with everyone.
I'd already rolled natural selection, but
I would take natural selection.
That's a good one,
You
yeah.
cannot choose it, you will be assigned it randomly.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That was my joke.
you know what? For once, I'll stay because I did roll it.
Okay, everybody roll
Choose what I
percentiles.
want. I know exactly what I would get.
So in the
I
case...
go mixed blood line, dwarf, and then I think the one that lets me explode on 5s and 6s.
Yeah.
So, what'd you get?
39.
39.
Thinking the same way as me.
That's a good question. What is 39? 39 is Grudge Bear. Siabran harbor ancestral hatred, bringing violence upon hated enemies, perceived grievances, both real and imagined, and general bigotry to fuel this rage. When you use Fury Dice to determine weapon damage, they explode on phase 5 and 6.
Yep, that's the one I would take.
If you remember,
me too.
on damage dice in Zweihander, whenever you roll a 6-sided die, if it lands on a phase 6, you roll it again and continue adding damage. In his case, it explodes in a 5 or 6. So if he rolls a 5 or a 6, he keeps rolling.
So that's like if I
Give
was
this
gonna
man
choose,
a gunpowder weapon.
No kidding. 1, 5, or
use
6.
it's always mixed bloodline, and that's my choice.
That's right.
It's gonna be a brawling or what is it?
Brawling or crushing.
Oh well.
Can't use.
Yeah. Aren't there any crushing gunpowder?
Still, it still does damage.
So, what is the profession that you are? You're a...
I'm a blitzballer, which is a commoner.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and roll percentiles.
Oh,
59.
59. Your trait. Nose to the grindstone.
Okay.
I always say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Effect. Whenever you triple the time to make a skill test, ignore peril condition track penalties.
Okay.
So, quote, take your time, ignore your peril. Peril. What'd you get, Sarah? 8. And you are a cultist, so you'd be qualified as a mage. What's that?
We're not doing any modifiers to the bonuses, right?
No, that's what the god stuff was. The god
cool.
star.
Still, you exploded a 5 or 6. That is the best
There's
damn.
always bad things to those modifiers as well as good, so I'm...
Your trait is called Abracadabra.
Oh, how on the nose.
Here's the fluff, and then I'll tell you the effect. It's difficult to be discovered if you're keeping to yourself and moving among the crowds. When moving through crowded urban areas, you leave no trace of your passing, cannot be found with skills or spells.
What? Abracadabra.
I'm gonna reach out and where the fuck she go? So when moving through crowded urban areas, you leave no trace of your passing. You can't be found with skills or spells. Tim, you
I went Hedge Knight. I'm sorry.
You did? No Slayer?
I just
He
changed.
followed his heart.
I followed my heart. That's originally what I wanted to do.
did you really go Hedge Knight?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's originally what I wanted to do.
Okay. Which Hedge Knight's professional trait?
Issue
But
challenge.
issue challenge.
Which does what?
I can challenge any one foe and they become defenseless to my attacks.
Oh shit.
And then,
Okay.
once that person's dispatched, you
Yeah,
move
pick
on to
another
the
one,
next,
that's
you
right.
Pick on another one.
So roll percentiles because the Warriors influence are getting some badass shit.
64. I already rolled it before I got it, just in
64,
case
okay.
you called on me while I was getting a set.
What kind of weapon are you thinking you're gonna use?
Hadn't even thought about it.
Well, we'll just give you the one that's one up from it. You get Bite the Bullet. That's your trait. So write this down on your traits. Bite the Bullet. Bite the bullet, baby. I'm thinking of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Here's the fluff. I power through pain to get the job done. Here's the effects. Whenever you suffer an injury, ignore its effects for 1 hour.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what about if that injury is you are slain?
You'd be slain an hour later.
All right.
He's Boromir.
Well, there are no injuries that kill you outright.
I thought they're
Arterial
real-
sprain,
Yeah, arterial sprain.
That's not an injury.
Oh, is it not?
No, there's no
Okay,
injury
man.
associated with an injury table. It's not an actual injury.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's think about that.
I like the idea that he just dropped his dead an hour later. Like, what
Yeah.
happened? Like he had an aneurysm. And
That's
just,
right. Or dies an arterial spray of blood.
Yeah.
All this. It's like I'm thinking of like Berserk.
Internal bleeding.
Yeah.
Like and they just burn. All the stitches and sutures burst and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we see what I would have gotten?
Yes.
Now I'm curious.
But you got
What's you're a cadet, so you're also worried about
Warrior.
percentiles.
I'm just curious how much I screwed myself over here. 69.
69.
68.
them natural selection's an awesome one.
Oh, I'm not switching. I'm
Yeah,
just curious
I mean,
what
that's-
I would have gotten.
You would have got turn the tables.
Okay.
I call upon Providence to alter the course of events, but I dare not abuse her favor. Whenever a fortune or misfortune is about to be spent, call out that you turn the tables. The benefit of the coin doesn't take effect and is permanently discarded from both pools. You can do it once per game session.
I forgot about that. That's actually a good one, too.
Yeah, you can just be like, fuck that coin, you're not using it. But it also removes it completely out of play. So
Right.
nobody gets it.
Nobody.
And,
You know,
and
I'm,
she can do it
I'm
once
okay
per...
with the 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta take
Like
a
Like I
look.
said, I was just curious what I would have gotten.
What'd you get,
What
Nick?
did
I rolled 12.
You are no, you're probably a lawbreaker. I'm just assuming.
A knave.
Knave. It's a lawbreaker.
He's a sophisticated beggar.
Beggar King.
Oh, weird.
He's royalty.
What'd you roll again? I'm sorry.
12.
12. Having difficulty finding this. Oh, here it is. Okay. Skeleton key. To call me underprepared is a vast understatement. I'm ready for anything you could throw my way. Providing you can narratively justify it, you can substitute any primary attribute in place of another when making a skill test. Any. Providing he can narratively justify it. So that means if for some reason you felt it made sense to use perception to strike with the weapon, justify it narratively and you can do it. Or fellowship or
You
willpower.
got the bullshit.
Any skill. any skill test.
Has to be approved by Dan.
Yeah, you
So-
have to narrowly justify it. But Skeleton Key opens every door.
No, but you got the bullshit skill trait.
I'll never be able to use it.
I believe you.
I believe you.
We'll see.
Do you want to re-roll it?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
I got it.
Okay. So, quick check. Has everyone filled out their front sheet? Oh, I'm sorry. You should probably do your peril threshold. So, 3 plus your willpower bonus. Does your first number in the big box, and then take that number and add 6 for your next box. Add 12 and add 18. If you would, Mike check Sarah's, or Adam check Sarah's math if you would.
Math.
So we're gonna go
It's important.
Quick math.
4
It's
plus
alright.
3, right?
Yep, and then
Ugh.
add 6 to 7.
And then I think 13 to 12? Or 7?
Add 6 to 13. Yeah, it's basically adding that number to this. Here.
Okay, so 19 there, and then I got 18 plus 9.
No, it'd be another 6 on top
I
of
hate
that,
that.
so it'd be 25.
Like 39 or something.
I'm 49.
Yeah, I think that's what this
so
is trying to
close.
denote here,
Yep.
is that it's like 6 plus 7, 12 plus 7, 18 plus 7.
Oh, I gotcha.
So, do the same thing on your second sheet for initiative, movement. Is anybody here have armor?
Yep.
Nice, what'd you get?
Leather.
Sweet!
My kit starts with leather.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, yours would too, but
Is that, I don't know what I get.
well, you can't use armor, right?
No, he chose
He's-
Hedge
I went
Knight.
Hedge Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because warrior, you're starting.
Yeah, you start with leather.
trappings is leather armor.
Is it?
Warriors! Come at him.
What else was this?
Yeah, if you want, until the starting trapping.
Perfect.
what?
Thank
The
you.
fossils as socialite?
Apostle
Heavy boots.
is a socialite, yes.
The arbalist crossbow is the choice. It could be a mortuary sword, a pike, or an arbalist crossbow.
Yeah, unless you happen to
okay.
armor, but
Okay.
your
Mortuary sword. What was the other?
The cultist is a socialite, so
Okay.
no.
Pike
Okay.
or arbalist crossbow.
What you may want to
I
do
figured
to help
range
her
would
is flip to the socialite on page
Yeah.
Might switch to
54
mortuary
Yeah.
sword.
and help her record her trappings on her third page. Yeah, for those of you who finished your maths here, feel free to record your trappings under your character on your third sheet, and then Adam's going to help you out with that, Sarah. These are all the things that you start with.
Military attire.
Multiply by 6.
You know what? Yeah, I am gonna switch to mortuary
Alright, so you'll have in your random trappings
It's
you'll
for
have
death.
a coin purse.
Well, because of
kill.
my professional
Is it
trait,
under
since
here?
I have to have a melee weapon
Actually, I
equipped.
think it's a whole page
Okay.
here, yeah.
Okay, coin first.
Yep.
Ba, 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 ba. I'm loving it.
You'll have some fancy shoes. You know, I should be writing these down because I'm a socialite too.
That's why.
Oh, tincture.
Yeah. That's 3, I think.
And 3 laudanum. Man, we're rich.
Yeah, we only get one red cat mushroom.
Fashionable clothing.
I also technically rolled aristocrat.
The aristocrats.
The aristocrats.
So you get the fire hardened spear no matter what.
Everybody, yes.
I used to be a crat.
Holy symbol.
Crap. That just sounds horrible.
And
Okay. Thank you.
a knuckle
I guess you can look that up. It's right here in the book.
Oh yeah, we got that.
Yeah, but
Pull
if
it
I
up.
had it there.
'Cause I'll need it.
Yeah,
You'll need.
instantly
Oh,
give it
yeah.
up.
Sorry about that.
And
Yeah,
Are you
Mandarin
warrior too, or?
and then
No, I'm a
Oh,
commodore.
that's, yeah.
put in parentheses next to that.
Wonderful.
Because you have to.
Can you?
Pick a gun.
Oh yeah, you got a gun to start with for 1 second.
We'll have to.
neck ruff.
A what?
Neck ruff.
Okay.
A shoulder bag.
Like the one drew by you.
It's nice, isn't
Yeah. You have matching bags.
it? I know.
A writing kit. And you'll choose one of the following: either 3 throwing knives with bandolier, or a rapier, or a walking cane.
Do you know the quality? Anybody know the qualities for a mortuary sword? Oh, you're right there.
That's what was,
Um,
I was waiting on that too.
just
Just vicious.
Should be in your book.
And so,
Whoa. Mike took my book.
martial melee usually just has
you'll
one,
have 2 weapons.
because
so
they
if you
don't
go
have
back to
pummeling
They basically don't have the fault.
Oh, right here.
or ineffective or
You're ineffective or weaks.
You'll have
That's
nothing
actually
but
the
really,
fault.
it's actually really good.
Yeah, it doesn't have any of the faults basically.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, where is it's just
The
vicious.
mortuary sword's a 1.
Vicious.
Yeah, it's
Secrets.
secret.
secret. So you're gonna get weapons, and I'll be able to tell you all about them.
I'm way too far.
So are we doing class or no?
Class?
Aristocrat.
We are not, no.
Burger.
We will not be doing any social classes or upbringing.
Okay.
Not
so
at
which one
all.
are you looking for? So knuckle duster doesn't, you don't load it, so that's an NA there. It's one-handed, so for handling it.
Heads up for those who are using weapons from Zweihander. We are using the updated qualities from Flames of Freedom, and we'll go through that in just a few moments once you write your trappings and stuff down.
Okay.
I've got mine if you just want to
The
start
distance
mine, or
is
do you want to wait
engaged.
until everybody?
No, what's your weapon?
I have a fire hardened spear.
Okay, what's its
And a-
qualities?
Qualities are
So
fast.
its
and
initial
pummeling.
qualities are.
Yeah,
Let me get back to that page.
of course that could always change.
Entangling,
Your
fast,
type.
and
Is there a
ineffective.
type?
Okay. So
Okay.
ineffective, no damage. You know
You may
that.
at some point need to know. You may never
Wait,
need
fire
to
hardened
know
spear is an
the-
effective?
No, it's
Put in parentheses or
adaptable
something.
reach.
Or adaptable. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have been one off.
Adaptable reach and weak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you had
Um,
the Gorget, the
is-
Oh, I was-
its
oh,
encumbrance
okay.
value
Strangler.
is 1.
Garrot. Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
it is the
That's
grunt,
good.
yes.
Okay.
So,
The Strangler,
Fire
yeah.
hardened spear is one.
so
Sorry.
Adaptive.
Gorget is the thing to block the grunt.
Yeah, that's
I went the opposite way.
Yeah,
that would be
Plus one
your
damage when held two-handed.
simple melee.
Gorget helps the
Do you
Gorage.
have a rank in simple melee?
Gorget.
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 Yeah.
What was the other one?
Gorget.
Right.
Adaptive. I got the.
It was adaptable
So
reach and
Yeah, you
weak.
take that value,
Reach
add 10,
is
and
you
write that
can
down.
strike foes 1 yard away.
Okay.
Yep.
1 unit
A lot
away.
better
You
than
can make opportunity attacks and they charge you
basically.
or run.
Yeah, unless there's
Because
some
we
weird
only
difficulty
can't do
stuff,
grievous
yeah.
injuries.
Mine is 39.
Yeah, and I need that.
You get a mortuary sword too, is that right?
Yeah, which is vicious.
Oh, are we doing
Plus 1d6 to deal to see if you do an injury.
Flintlock pistol is
are we doing mercy at all?
No.
Okay.
martial
Then,
melee.
Instead
or
of
martial
a
range, so I
rucksack
take it.
or and I get
you
like a
have
giant
Martial
like
range.
an improvised weapon
ball
that's a
sack
walking
basically
cane.
for all the pigskins I want to have.
To flip the fell,
Okay.
yeah,
It's like
to
that.
use it.
And then
Like our-
Did you just?
I mean,
It
what else
doesn't
would you
have
call
a
it? It's a sack where you put your balls in.
It's a skin.
it's one-handed.
Pigskin sack.
That's right.
Right, and so instead of
It's a skin sack.
Engage.
a sling and 9 sling stones, can I get 9 pigskins?
Pummeling.
Are you gonna throw?
That's a lot of
pigskin?
footballs to carry.
That's why I need one of those like big sacks.
That's why you need a gigantic ball
And then
sack.
Exactly.
Its encumbrance value is 1.
You keep saying needs a gigantic.
Are you
ball
writing
sack.
in pen?
No,
Is that pencil?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
it has Sarah Dugan Esquire engraved on it too.
Oh,
So
you're an esquire.
Oh, fancy.
It'd be the same percentage because it's a simple.
Sarah will be representing us whenever we violate trademark or copyright
Yeah.
on this stream. Sorry, Disney Plus.
Now to figure out damage.
We'll call it a ball carrier. Does that sound
Power
better?
of Disney.
You call it your ball
or
sack
based
if you
off
want.
of
That's
bonus, but
you do what
so
you
it'd
want.
be
Like.
1
right.
to 6 plus
Carrier.
whatever your blind bonus is.
okay. So my bonus is 4.
You don't need to roll
Call it a
right
pig
now.
bag,
You roll
man.
every time
Pig
you
pack?
do damage.
Pig
Oh,
pack
okay.
and pig bag.
Yeah, it'd be 1d6
Pig pack.
The pig pack.
Okay, so I just need to put that.
The pig pin. That's what it's
Pig
called.
pin there.
Pig pin.
Same for both of them.
And then vicious.
Right, and so
It's called a
He
duffel
may-
bag.
he may
Or in the
have
future,
something
we could be
to
called the
update
nuclear
with
briefcase.
qualities because of the new stuff.
Yeah, I
with Flames
figured
of Freedom,
duffel bag, but I
that's
didn't know
the
if
way it
that was
should be.
like
So,
historically.
Is that the name of?
do you want us to go
Bag
ahead and
of
figure out
here's a
encumbrance
ball.
now?
Yeah, hang tight here. Just real quickly. So
Okay.
be sure to calculate your encumbrance.
Yeah.
Please do so.
Okay. So
Okay.
in order to calculate your encumbrance, you'll take anything that you have that, like I've told you, an encumbrance quality it has, and then where is your trappings sheet?
I am definitely encumbered.
Encumbered.
Yeah, that right
Encumbrance.
there.
Oh!
So
Before you do, I'm so sorry. I hate to interrupt. I forgot to mention that everyone gets to choose one thing for their characters, no matter what it is.
oh yeah.
Something cool and unique that only your character would have that you get to pick from the trappings list. Guarantee it makes sense for your character. Like if it's something that you think would be super cool that only your character would have, let me know. What do you think that is? Any takers? You know what the one unique thing that their character may have that nobody else does. It could literally be anything that you can narratively justify.
You have to think on that just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it some thought. So yeah, go ahead and calculate your encumbrance unless there's something really cool you're gonna pick out of the book.
Wait, we have to pick it. We can't. It's not just something out of our head. It's out of the
It
book.
can be out of your head, yeah.
Okay.
It can be out of your head.
I always do it armor.
Armor's always a good one.
What are
because
you
it's so
thinking?
expensive.
Oh, I'm just thinking something really, really messed up. Because with my blood magic, is it the same if I slay something innocent, I get more
Yeah.
power?
If you get when you buy the talent blood magic, yes. You'll have to buy
You only use
reward
it
points
once.
later, but yes.
It's true.
Okay.
That is true. I
Huh?
can
Bag of
put
Not a
in
bag
some
of
dying.
kittens. I'm thinking
Can't last to
like
kill horses.
Bag
an
of
unborn
kittens.
fetus in a
I had
jar
a
or
horse one
something.
It only lasted like 5
Yeah,
game
that-
sessions. You had a
that'd be-
horse.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
lasted about
Kinda
6
cool,
games.
right?
Yeah, poor blood leg, yeah.
Jars of feti.
It'd be kind of
It is-
encumbered.
It doesn't work out for us.
Yeah.
Each item that doesn't have an encumbrance value listed to it basically goes towards like one of 9. So to explain a little bit better, you have 1, 2,
Full plague.
3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, that doesn't
Your chart
count,
start with male.
It's
No.
on here already.
6, 7, 8.
No, that's. I was thinking male.
See
That's what I
I'm
would
saying
probably
there?
start.
You, like
Do
count
that.
up all you have.
Okay, so I put that here on the, or I just count it in
You
general.
count it in general because it's basically
Yeah, anything you all
1/9
think
of
you can
one
make sense for your
encumbrance.
character to have.
13.
Okay, so
So
your
King's
walking
Cadet's
cane
like
would be
the
subtracted from
actual
it.
academy
Okay.
trained
Okay.
legit
And then,
warrior, whereas
the shoulder bag would be
Pretendor over
subtracted
here
from it.
is
Yeah.
some
That
wannabe
is an
knight.
exception, so how much?
Pretendor.
12.
I am
that'd be
Sir
2.
Pretendor.
Yeah, but I think the
so,
great part is going to be like
wait, no,
his
that'd
is
be
that he's
1
actually like a
because,
courageous runs into battle and mine's
for
like
every 9 items you have, it's
Nope.
one encumbrance.
Okay.
so.
That's not smart.
You
Just
have
hang
2
back.
from your weapons. You have
One of us will
from
live
your,
and one of us will die.
So do I write that here?
Pretty sure we know which
Yeah,
one that's
it's
going to
like
be.
some place to keep it, you know, like
Wooden,
track
leather,
of it, yeah.
mail. So mail's heavy though, right? You have
and
to
then
do the
one from
modifications.
stuff.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
stuff.
you can't dodge ranged weapons.
Now, the interesting thing is a shoulder bag actually gives you 1 encumbrance.
Oh.
So it would,
3
like, you may, I normally put like a -1 there. And then, or another way that you can
Pick it back
show
to
that
the
is you can
Yeah,
add it
absolutely.
to this total
You bet.
number, so you have 8.
Just trying to think.
Summoning. Mongosh also has a lot of cool stuff in it too.
Yeah.
If you've not flipped through that before.
That's what, that
Another
really
way
I
that
have, but I
I've,
realized there's an extra traffic.
Yeah, there it
been able to
is.
keep track of that is they're like put in parentheses. plus
Weapons,
1
new armor.
plus 1 total encumbrance.
I knew about that. but I didn't know there
Vehicles.
was any like standard traffic.
I want to have a battering ram.
So that's
If you want a shield,
how I do that.
I want a puckle
Yeah,
gun.
and
a buckle gun. You're gonna
you
carry.
can
You're gonna
pick
drag
anything
yourself.
you
Yeah,
want.
yeah, yeah.
What's the
and
difference?
I was
Could I get a
afraid that
stagecoach? that
Something
could be
like
my-
you had mentioned earlier might be good for blood.
I don't have a
magic.
horse, just a
Super
stage.
innocent. I gotta think
pull it by hand. I'm assuming, Mike, you're choosing a pigskin.
I was thinking like the Heisman Trophy.
You could have my original mask.
That's what I carry around.
Like a permanent trophy.
Yeah.
Back in my day, you're like the guy in high school, like, I throw a football over the mountain, like from
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite.
If you
You're
want
Uncle
to,
Rico.
But
After the
now,
football
actually,
that
wait,
mountain.
for Blood Magic specifically, that couldn't be used. Yeah.
Like your own
Yeah.
case of
All,
Nilla.
all Rico does is pick on the weak. It's like. So, question: can I have a Castle Forge set of brigandine?
Castle Forge, no.
Brigandine,
Brigandine, yes.
Against
He's like,
not
are you sure about that,
together.
Derek?
You have
Can I
ring
have-
mail.
Our personality traits.
Ring mail.
It's a Mongosh. It's
Like,
DTA,
it's more or
DTM
less
3.
what you want.
It's
Four.
three.
If you want there to be
That's
tension
five,
between
yeah,
the two,
so
it can happen,
it's-
but
Brigandine's
like,
I want Castle Forged
yeah,
pigskins.
so, I mean,
You want to?
Castle
yeah, it
Forged
could be-
pigskins.
it could
I'll
be a
take it.
character
You have big
that's
space.
basically
But
thing
that way I can, like, light them on
because
fire and they don't
maybe
get
you
destroyed.
would be out of that.
Smart,
And
but
then
no.
serve
You have
even-
pigskin, though.
Oh yeah.
Even if I'm like, I don't know about that culty stuff, I would still be like,
You can make your way toward
Kind
that.
of
You can make something perhaps
That-
later on.
That's
Yeah.
part of the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and my preferred god is the custodian, which doesn't really take sides. It's just about ushering things on, more or less. And so the only side that the custodian ever like truly takes is when, like, if we ever come across something that's like undead, which has happened in Daniel's world, but it's not like, oh, there's another zombie. So yeah, like that's
All right.
Did you take mail?
Just took brigandine.
Brigandine?
yeah, I don't
Just
know.
regular old brigandine.
Nice.
It's probably the best that's out
How's
there.
your
What does
encumbrance
your
look
original
with that?
mask do?
I got 4. I need to actually add
No
that up.
mechanics or
Encumbrance.
anything. It's just a cultural thing that like we don't.
I don't have anything really. Which stuff did we get?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, boots you
and
wear, right? So
we don't have like names like everyone would typically imply. And I don't know if you can remember it or not, but that's the name I came up with.
9
Seems how I have
things,
the
right?
Metal mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is your mark a metal mask then?
Is my what?
Is your mark a metal mask then? Are you going to wear a metal mask?
Oh, sure, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
If you want my, instead of the persistent cough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You make it whatever you think is going to be the thing that basically your mark is what people, when they first see you, it's the first thing they notice.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, weird. It's the first thing they notice, and it's always visible. It's like people see me, they're like, oh my god, that guy's a fucking huge head. Like, that's my mark. In the case of Tim, he's got like a scraggly gray beard, or Nick's got red hair.
And
what's rucksack get you? Is it 2 extra?
Plus 2.
a lot of
Plus
CL
two.
Plus 2.
normally wear masks made of wicker. And so, like, seeing one in a metal mask would be.
Oh yeah. That's
Well,
completely
seeing one
fine.
period would be odd, but seeing
too.
one in a metal mask would be completely odd.
So, with that being said, I'd probably recommend, Sarah, that you actually
Yeah, I was
put
just thinking
your
that.
mark and your hair down there. If you think it, but yeah, I'd probably do that because what we're gonna do at the end of our sessions, we're actually gonna read off our Mad Lib to introduce our characters. And that's what
Well, here's the thing about the hair. I thought it'd be fun to hide it for a while
You
from
sure?
everyone.
Yeah,
Maybe tell you ahead
Maybe you
of
have a different
time
mark,
at some
yeah.
point, and then I could reveal it. And
Yeah.
it would be important in some way.
sure, you can do that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
So it would be unknown for now.
That's right. So I'd probably just pick. Then in that case, you probably still need to figure out a mark.
Okay.
Are you physically branded? Your character's quote
Branded,
branded.
yeah.
Are they physically branded?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I think that's a good idea.
Like, are they branded on their forehead? Are they branded on their cheek? Is their face branded?
I'm thinking.
Like forehead would be violent or slave, right? That's like you could be branded on your arm too for like thievery and things like that. But what are you branded for? You know what you want?
I don't know yet. I gotta think about it. I'm thinking branded across the neck.
She's a cultist.
So I was thinking it was gonna
Yeah.
be
So
dangerous.
probably put your
Yeah.
mark as branded on the neck.
Okay.
Yeah.
dangerous.
Dangerous. That's right.
Yeah.
Two wild and crazy eyes.
Dangerous.
Or
Why not? had a random thing.
Crime die. Why not?
She technically does have that mark.
She does have the crime die.
On me.
You have a wine dot tattoo too?
No, but I
No.
Oh.
I think she's from.
okay,
You're
as
from
far
crime
as
die.
that, I do
Yeah.
have plenty of scars that came from living in that place. I'm just saying.
You're
Crime
a wine
dot.
dot house.
I would totally get a wind up.
On that, does anybody have anything? Anybody know what they're gonna do for their unique thing? What are you thinking, Nick?
I think I would want like some sort of stage, like costuming kit. I could do a bunch of different types of disguises.
Yeah, you can do that. Like a stage kit. It's called a stage kit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you thinking, Kay?
I don't have animal handling, but I wanted a dog.
A dog?
Yeah, it's just with no animal handling. Like
Just have a dog.
I could just have.
One of my characters had a goat. A couple of them actually.
I'm not
They
animal
just-
handling. I have a dog upstairs.
It just does what it does.
Oh, we know.
And sometimes
Beaver School does exactly what you.
Toes.
Beaver Toes does exactly what she wants to do too.
I want a watchdog.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take a watchdog.
Watchdog it is.
Who watches the watchdog?
Your unique thing, Tim, was
The
going to be the
Watchman.
brigandine. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about yourself, Mike?
Think
Castle
of more
Forge
Yeah, nothing really comes to mind right now.
Give us some thought.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Barrel rum.
Adam, I want that extra.
I mean,
That extra DR from Castle
I'm
Forge.
thinking maybe like a weapon that's slightly more religiously bent, like a scourge or something. But I want to
Scotch.
okay, because I just don't see armor
Are you gonna whoop
as
yourself?
being.
God Emperor's Hammer.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yes,
I will have a relic, please. I will take the Horsun, the cursed ballista, or the cursed trebuchet.
Yeah.
Horsun.
God Emperor's Hammer, like the relic with like every.
I want a zeppelin.
Yeah, can't do
That way it plays. That way it.
It's like
goes
the
over
world's
field.
largest pigskin.
Yeah. It flies
Throw
over the
that.
field when I'm playing blitzball.
And they drop signage for him.
Yeah.
They skyride.
It's how I get my advertisement revenue.
The best blitzballer ever.
Yeah.
What was his character's name? Gaunter. It was a Gaunter Daunter.
Kilgore.
Gaunter Kilgore. That's right.
Yeah, it was. He even said, he goes, I tried to find the silliest last name to go with it.
You just have to be Kilgore. Fulgore. Malone.
No.
Yeah.
Kilgore.
Let's do this. Let's take
Kilgore.
it. We'll take a quick break for our listeners and viewers. We'll be right back in like 2 seconds. Okay, so everyone's chosen their special item at this point. Have you chosen your special item,
No,
Sarah?
can I think about it?
You can think about it between game sessions.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Think about your special thing. Has everybody else recorded all their maths? Figured out all their money?
Where's
Oh shit, I forgot to roll money.
Because yeah,
Well,
we
what
don't
page
know
is
'cause
money
we're
on,
not-
guys?
We don't know our.
It's right.
Yeah.
You don't-
Are we all
Said we
going
weren't doing-
common?
yeah, that's right. So why don't you all just roll 3d10 and add 3? This is how many shilling you have.
You said plus 3?
So, like,
Yeah.
Can we spend
it's
any
on
of it now?
No.
Okay.
And then, yeah, that'd be the silver shelling.
Did you get a...
I think I said
Or no, you know what? If you want to
Plus
spend
3.
it now, you can. It's up to you.
Okay.
Roll 3d10 again and multiply it by 3.
Multiply it by 3? 18 times 30.
So
60. Okay, what's that?
That's your penny, your brass pennies.
One. By 30. Multiply it by 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So 54.
Like
Oh,
3,000.
we both
That's
got
I
it.
had to think about
Yeah,
It's an arbitrary number. 3,592.
20 and 54.
Multiply it by 30. Holy
Huh?
How many do we roll for gold coins?
0.
Yeah, 54.
Weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Zero, 8, 10, and 1
Everybody rolled that, I guess.
So,
It's the average.
Yeah, the question I have now for you all is: have you thought about a character name?
Yep.
It's already
Okay.
in there.
So,
Gunther Kilgore.
Counter Kilgore. No,
Not
seriously.
Kilgore,
Does
Kilgore.
anyone not have a character name? First question.
I
I don't
never
have a
had
last
character.
name.
I'm always terrible with names. It's like the last
Yeah.
name.
Let's workshop some names out. Let's talk about it.
Roscoe.
Roscoe the Hedge Knight.
I like it.
I'm the worst.
Cool.
I'm the worst at picking names.
like that.
There are two rules to names. One, they have to be in world, and two, no one has the same phonetic sounding name around the table.
What?
For God's sake.
No
Because the last
C
game
names.
had all C names.
Yeah, that was a little. It was hard.
Chauncey, Collinsworth, Calvin,
Clumsy.
Keegan.
I already chose mine, and it starts with a CH.
That's fine.
Nobody else can have the
Don't
CH.
read your Mad Lib out, but what's your character name?
Well, since we have monikers,
Yes.
it's Chuckles.
Chuckles?
Yes, it's Chuckles because I can't smile. I can't do anything. I've got the metal mask on.
Okay. All right.
I like
We
that.
have monikers?
No.
His character does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your character's name, Sarah?
Well, I'm sticking with the one that we worked with, but it's Ekelstav.
What's her full name?
I was just gonna go with Ekelstav, but I can add another name to
No, it's up to you.
Okay.
Eaglestaff?
Ekelstav.
Okay. Mike, nothing yet?
Roscoe.
Are you a Kilgore? Are you a descendant of Kilgore?
No, we're not going to do anything with previous
It's
families.
not
Okay.
right.
So they'd be their own thing. Yeah.
So, but you have a real name, to be clear.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't written it
How do you
down,
spell?
though.
How do you say that? How do you spell that, Sarah?
Ekeielsdav.
Eaglesdav. E-K-I-E. I'm sorry. What?
Ekelstav. Come on, Dan.
Spell again, please.
Ekeielsdav.
Oh. S-D-A-V. Eaglesdav. Okay. Eaglesdav. Eaglesdav. Okay.
Yeah,
Eagles.
I'm gonna butcher that every time.
Yeah, I'm going to mess that up.
Ekelstav. It's Ezekiel and
Mike and
David
I will
put
continuously
together.
screw that up.
Yeah, there's no way I pronounce that correctly.
Our Midwestern accents will not spell that right or be able to speak it.
Anybody else have a name?
Sabella.
Sabella.
Sybella.
Okay. S-Y-B-L-L-A. You're ladies. Are you a Landon Knight?
Sure.
She's Lady Sabella.
Yeah. I'm looking for a last name, so I think
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Anybody else?
My character's name is Hiram. I don't have a last name, but you said that maybe I'm a scorned noble or something like that. So
Mhm.
maybe if we can think of some noble name, like even like Malister, like a distant cousin or something
You
like
can be a
that.
Hiram Malister.
Okay.
Well,
No
no, because
Malister.
that'd put you too close to the king. No. How about? Ooh, boy.
I mean, I know you said no
How about a Redding?
common last name, like legacy last name, so
Yeah, I'll be a Reading.
no.
No.
It doesn't start with my first name doesn't start with a C. It can't be anyway.
That's true.
I'm going to be Cool Runnings.
Cool Reddings.
I'm looking through the old wiki for names that have not been used. That may work. Anybody else have any other name ideas? So
I-
Luther
yeah.
Thornton.
Yep.
Isn't there a Matthew Thornton? Oh.
Is there another Thornton?
No, it's actually not a bad thing. You're fine.
Okay.
You're actually fine as Thornton. So
I'm his bastard kid, so. it
So
doesn't
Lady Sabella Culpepper. Eaglesdav. Got it.
I think I've been a Thornton.
Hiram Aramore. That's actually a really playful name. Luther Thornton and Chuckles. And then we have Mike. Names are hard.
Just Mike.
My character's name is
Stuff.
Bill.
Yeah.
Mr.
Bob.
Mr. Garmin.
You can be. I want to be Bill the Vampire.
You could be Gary.
Suki.
Hello, Gary.
Suki.
For last name, I was thinking Longarm. And then having like another L name, but if he's going with L name, I might not do that. Then anyway,
Yeah, I'm checking real quick if we have any phonetic sounding similar names. We don't.
because I mean,
Lady
for a
Sabella,
good L name,
Eaglestop,
you can't go
Hiram,
wrong
Luther,
with Linden.
Chuckles.
It's a very popular name for males.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Linden.
What's that? I'm sorry?
Linden for a first name.
Lester.
Lester.
Lester
Lawrence.
Longarm.
Lester Longarm. I like it.
He can reach out and touch you.
So is Longarm is
That's so bad.
is Longarm is that an actual surname, or is that like maybe like a nickname they gave him, like Lester Longarm something?
It could be a middle name, yeah. Lester Longarm.
Because you are a thrower, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Could be you change your name to that.
It can just be Lester Longarm if you want.
Lester
Yeah.
Longarm Lowell.
No,
Nobody remembers your last name because you were.
Okay, I need a C and then a J. That way I can be LLCJ.
That's good. You need a C and a J. Let's find out. Surname with a
Cole.
C and J.
Cuthbert
Wow.
Johnson.
Looking at Ancestry.com.
Cole Johnson.
Uh,
Kucho.
Cujo? I mean, that actually. I don't know if you.
Could be Killjoy, but with a C.
I do have a brown complexion.
looking for a J.
Killjoy?
Yeah.
Killjoy.
What's your first name again?
Lester.
Lester Killjoy. That works.
With a C or a K?
It's
It has to be a K.
It's got to be a K.
Sure.
Killjoy?
Sure.
Lester Longarm Killjoy.
But you just go by long arm, right?
Yeah.
Longarm. So we have two L names. Luther Thornton and Lester Longarm Killjoy.
The third arm is long.
But yeah. You guys can call me Luke.
No L name. We have two characters with two L names. We can't do that.
Okay, then.
that's fine.
Once again, yellow flag. No names with a similar phonetic sound. Who wants to change the name? Mike or
Looks like
Sam?
you already erased in his
Wilson.
Wilson Thornton?
Yep. Two last names.
name. You should be Wilson.
That could be.
Wilson,
Wilson
Wyatt?
W. Wilson.
Wilson Wyatt Thornton?
And then when you die, I can turn one of my
No, we're
pigskins
good.
into
Wilson
Wilson.
Thornton. Wilson Thornton.
Okay, do we have
Straight
okay, so we have
That's what I was doing.
we have Lady Sabella Culpepper, Ecclesdov, I'll get that right eventually, Hiram Aramore, Lester Longarm Killjoy, Wilson Thornton, and Chuckles.
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 Okay.
You know how on like TV series or whatever they'd always do the blah 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 blah, and then at the end it's always end featuring.
End featuring
like your end featuring
Chuckles.
Chuckles.
Okay, so what you should all have at this point is a complete character sheet. Most importantly, you should have this filled out, this top part, because we're going to conclude character creation tonight by having each of you read your Mad Lib. And you will conclude by saying my chaos alignment is and my order alignment is, but otherwise you'll read just like a sentence. Sentence. Include that. So I think I'm just going to jump around because that's just what I want to do tonight. So let's move. So we'll start first with. We'll start probably first with Adam. Adam,
Yeah.
tell us who your character is.
My character is Chuckles, insert name here, and I have made my life as an apostle. I am an adult Seabran male and was born beneath the star sign of the Custodian. I am of a stocky build with a light tan complexion, kindly blue eyes, and cropped straight auburn hair with a metal mask. My dooming is do not push for more, otherwise you will get it.
What's your chaos alignment?
My chaos alignment is Rancor, and my order alignment is Charity.
Okay. Who next, Sarah?
My name is Eaglestov and have made my life as a cultist. I'm an adult, Eridane, female, and born beneath the star of the learner. I am a lean build with a dark tan complexion, intense hazel eyes, and headscarf. I'm branded on the neck. My dooming is the stars can lead you astray. My chaos alignment is tyranny, and my order alignment is mystery.
That's good. Mike, tell us about your character.
Alright, my name is Lester Longarm Killjoy, and I have made my life as a blitzballer. I am an adult Eridane man and was born underneath the star of the custodian. I am a stocky build with a brown complexion and startling gray eyes, with long textured brown hair and with broken teeth. My dooming is, still waters run deep.
Which cast in order?
Oh, hypocrisy and dignity.
Nice. What about your character, Tim?
My name is Wilson Thornton, and I have made my life as a hedge knight. I'm an adult Eridane male, and I was born under the star sign of the Crouching God, or the Crouching. And I am of a normal build with a pale complexion, bright hazel eyes, and a nearly shaved straight gray hair, and with scarred skin. My dooming is the shadows stalk hungrily.
What's your cast and order alignment?
Fanaticism and gravitas.
What about you, Nick?
My name is Hiram Aramore, and I have made my life as a beggar. I am an adult Eridane man and was born beneath the star sign of the Night Father. I am of a normal build with a dark tan complexion, soft green eyes, and short curly brown hair with a Cheshire grin. My dooming is iron is weak, gold is strong, and my chaos alignment is mayhem. My order alignment is sophistication.
Every time the die, you can't escape the die snake. That's something we've kind of learned. Okay, and last but not least, Kay.
My name is Lady Sabella Culpepper, and I've made my life as a cadet. I am an adult Eridane female, and I was born under the star, the Crouching One. I am of a normal build with a tan complexion, thoughtful gray eyes, and medium braided red hair with wooden dentures. My dooming is you will burn brightly, and you will be snuffed out. My chaos alignment is martyrdom, and my order alignment is candor.
Perfect. So, last question. Anyone want to start with any order and chaos ranks at the start of the game?
Do this.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Always.
So, we'll roll randomly to see how far you are on the track.
Cool.
Yeah. So everyone roll if you want to have free ranks. It's gonna be bad. Take a d6, roll it, divide it in 2, and that's how many chaos ranks you start with. Once you roll, you commit.
Same.
So does it go up or down?
Round up.
Okay.
Round up. Yeah.
So this one was for chaos, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And your next is for.
Did you?
Same.
And your next is for order.
Yeah, I got the 6.
I got the exact same thing. 2 and 2.
Okay, and do we have to do this? Or
No, you do not.
You never have
Nope,
to.
It's an option.
Okay. I'm not gonna do it.
No.
Take another risk.
The only thing that's really left is actually for Sarah. You need to pick 3 spells out of that deck of cards.
Okay.
Those are the spells your character will begin gameplay with. And we could probably do that off of camera. But I think otherwise we'll wrap up for tonight. And we will continue in a few weeks with Memento Mori, our new game. Thank you all for watching. Thanks everybody for joining characters. Hope you had a good time. End up with some really weird shit when you randomly roll everything. Which I think makes some really compelling
You're gonna
characters.
use the drawer over there.
But otherwise, we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Feast.